What you think you own of this? Did. Call my girls and let them all on a spaceship. Hang one night with Beyonce, I'll make you famous. Have you ever seen a stage going ape shit? What up? Okay, I had to lift the mood up a little bit. A little bit. Why y'all down? This the election watch night. Okay. Fuck what they talking about on the streets. All that bullshit. We hear y'all, but we don't give a fuck. Bitch, we pay our taxes and we gonna vote. You the dummies paying taxes on shit and you don't want to vote, telling us we shouldn't tell people to vote. Let me let the song play because I'm feeling a little dragging. Fuck y'all think y'all talking. I know ain't nan bitch talking to King Roman News about what the fuck he told people. Cause if the fuck you are, bitch, I'm here. And that's for any bitch. The fuck wrong with you hoes? It's the presidential election party. You better calm the fuck down, raggedy bitch. The fuck you think you talking to? What I Nope. This is what we pay for. Yeah. What up? What up? What is going on, y'all? Baby, my nerves like have been like real iffy today. It's been a real ugly mood for me today. Nasty. Just nasty mood. A nasty mood. Shout out to the crew. Welcome to our watch party. We're gonna watch some things. We're gonna talk about some things. We're gonna kick it. I'm gonna drop the link for folks to come up. What up, Rick? I know Rick said he's gonna come through too. So we're gonna kick it and talk about it. But before I begin, I want to say that this live right here is for people who are interested in the politics, in the voting, in the process. If you are not, let me put my mics close. Let me scoot you over. Okay. If that's not your judge, if you don't vote and you go to the store and pay taxes on them groceries you get, or you renting an apartment and you pay taxes on that too, all that shit, and you don't vote, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. Bitch, I ain't trying to tell you to go vote. You ain't got to go vote. Okay? But if you're interested in the process, you're interested in seeing who wins, whether it's Trump or Kamala, please, by all means, watch any watch party you want to. Watch anything you want to. Don't let nobody tell you that your vote don't matter. Oh, we know who's gonna be in office. That's fine. Great. That's great. We wish that you'd be in a far better place than you are in life. As much as you know Trump gonna be in office. Do you know what you're gonna be doing next year or the year after that? Broke bitches talking shit. That's what kills me the most. You sit back and be like, but you don't have much. What are we talking about? So I'm here because I want to have a watch party. I'm interested in the elections. I do vote. Okay, I'm engaged in the process, not just now, but always, online and offline. Okay, so that's why we're watching it and we're going to be talking about it today. So again, I advise anybody, whether I post something on my community wall, I put a video up, and you look at it and say, "Oh my God, I don't give a damn. It's what I want to do. You can't stop me from what I want to do. I do what the fuck I want to. Half you all do dumb shit all the fucking time. Do you hear me go, oh my God, I don't give a fuck. I shut my mouth. Don't be bringing that shit over here like y'all tough, dumb tough. Okay, don't walk over here with that shit. I'm hearing live after live, everybody, and y'all all dumb. Who dumb? Telling people to vote. Y'all know who gonna win. Okay, that's fine. Carry on about your day. You're not talking to me. Okay, I just want to put that out there because I don't know I don't know what was going, who was talking, where was going at, but I want to be clear where I stand. I don't give a fuck. Not scared of damn bitch, and I'm saying what the fuck I said. You want to disrespect me? I can throw tons of disrespect your way. Don't do that shit to me. We good. Don't do that shit to me. Let's be good. Let's be cool. Let's be cool. So moving right along, as we get that out the way, welcome to our presidential election watch party. Y'all, we had a really, I want to say this really quickly. We had a really good ass, bomb ass fucking live yesterday. It was really dope. I appreciate everybody that came through, especially those that dropped down on the community wall and in the chat, because I saw all y'all messages and I was like, damn, we really did cover some things. So thank you for that. And I actually did hear some people today saying some things that we talked about on the show in defense of Kamala. So shout out to y'all. And that's exactly the purpose of it. Since then, I mean, shit has definitely taken its course. So, you know, we talked about, when we first talked about yesterday, we talked about the battleground states. Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, Arizona, Wisconsin, and Nevada. And since then, we've already got results. So far, okay, Kamala has taken Vermont with Bernie Sanders, and Trump has taken Indiana, of course, Kentucky, of course, and West Virginia. Now let's talk about West Virginia for a moment, really quickly. West Virginia also had a Senate seat up. Joe Manchin, which was the Democrat who was sitting in that seat, decided he was no longer going to run this year. And the governor decided he was going to run for it because let's be honest, Republicans didn't know what to do. Who we going to put here? How we going to do this? The name of the governor is already ringing a bell. It was easy to get him on the ballot, on the ticket, and he ran and he won. So now that's a Senate seat that the Republicans got. Now let me explain why that's important, because the biggest thing here is if Kamala wins, she's winning with a 51-49 majority in Congress, meaning 51 Democrat leading, 49 Republicans leading. 49 needs to pick up two seats. Okay. And so far, what we saw was West Virginia, one of those seats. Now, we don't know what else is going to play out for the night, but this is what I'm talking about. So here's the first map. This is just showing you so far. And I don't know if I'm going to look and see if there's been any updates since I just saw this literally moments ago. But you can see so far we have these three. Nothing for us to get shaky about. Don't get your pants wet. Don't run yet. Because remember, when we talked about this before, we already knew that some states are red, some states are already blue. They've already been counted, okay? So states like Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia was a little toss-up, but West Virginia, Vermont, we knew. So this is just par for the course, okay? The other map is the Senate map I was telling you all about. So far, 2 Senate seats, West Virginia and Indiana, has been confirmed. Indiana, we already knew they were going to take. West Virginia is the one they did take. Now we have Ohio and Virginia being the other 2 where the polls have closed, and we're waiting to see what that Senate seat looks like. In the House, we have quite a few different places that have closed their polls and counted it and called it in. So far, you see Indiana, Kentucky, and Florida. Florida majority GOP Republican. So that's where we are so far. Let me just tell you about my experience today. Of course, I went to go vote. Of course, I voted for Kamala Harris. Who the hell else I was voting for? All right. Now, again, let me just say this for the people that are way in the back. I'm not talking about the slow bitches in the back because they fine. Let the slow bitches in the back sit. I'm talking about the bitches behind them. Okay. Let me just say this. This live is not about persuading you to vote for anybody or anything like that, or making you feel like who you voted for was wrong. This is about us watching the elections and talking our shit and being funny and all that good stuff. A good uplifting of our spirits, because this is very anxiety. I've been telling the crew all day. Well, just a few moments ago, I have had a really bad feeling or mood today. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know if it's the election. I'm always up and high and happy about it. I'm just real aggy. So I go to a library, and right across from the library is a nursing home. And so I signed up to be someone who escorted actually senior citizens from the nursing home across the street to the polling station. Well, half the fucking senior citizens voted early, especially now that you can do it in person. So they voted early. So it was like no need for me to be there. So I actually went in and, I went and sat down and voted. Got a Latino couple and a baby next to me. And I got a clearly a young black man, college student, very studious. And everybody want to fucking talk. Okay? Everybody got a comment, want to talk. Bitch, I don't want to talk. Please don't say nothing to me. I was not having it, y'all. I was not having it today. And it's just the ghettoest thing. So they got 2 electric machines and 4 self where you got to write it down. You got to write in. And so I'm like, I'll do the electric ballot, thinking that it's way more electric ballots. It was like, okay, you go sit over there. I'm sitting down. I'm looking at everybody. I'm like, what you doing? What? I said, can I write it? Well, no. You got to hold on. That's the line, because those are people switching from electric. I said, it's a line to switch. I said, I might as well sit here. So as people are getting up out their seat to go to an available machine, you got to get up and move to the next chair. So as hot ass is getting up, another hot ass is sitting on the seat. I did this several times. I'm just like, y'all, I'm about damn near sitting on the edge of the seat. Like, this shit is disgusting. This about some of the most. Bitch, y'all lucky we ain't in COVID. What is this? Seat just warm. It just was uncomfortable. I'm just like, you know what? Woo, child. So every time we had to get up, the studious boy next to me says to me, is it okay if I sit here? So the first time was cute, and Roman was like, oh yeah, of course. The second time, bitch, I'm like, yeah, because I think I'm explaining the process. I'm acting like I'm at work. I'm explaining the process. We move, then you can come. Yeah. So yeah. So third time he asked me, I look around like, is this bitch? And I ain't say nothing to the boy because I'm already in the Aggie mood. So I just moved and sat down in the seat, and I just let him stand there. Then he finally sat down. I'm like, are y'all, what's going on? Then you got the couple next to me, Patties, Chatty Patties. Here they go. So you live in the area? So I'm like, I'm saying to myself, I think we all live in the area because based on our address, we all are at the same polling station. So what? I said, yeah. I'm saying to myself, please don't ask me where it's at. Please don't ask me. Oh, are you closer to Hopkins or are you over this way? I said Hopkins, and next thing I knew, I grabbed my AirPods. I put this one in and this one in my other ear right as this bitch was talking. I didn't even hear the next sentence. I don't give a fuck if her husband was looking or the baby. It was just like I'm here to vote. That's it. I don't want to talk right now. I'm not feeling it. Half you bitches in. I don't know who you voting for, bitch. Like what? Let me reserve my conversation for people I want to have a conversation with. I'm not there yet. Let me get through the day. Okay, I got to get through the day. So I'm sitting there, bitch. I'm just like, okay. Finally say, sir, it's your turn to vote. I go up there. I'm at the machine. So after you selected all, the machine shows you all your results. And I noticed there was one box that I forgot to do. So I clicked it to change it. Do you know it made you start all over again? It putting my sheet all back out. I looked at everybody, they looked at me. I'm like, oh my God. I put it back in and had to do it all over. When I got up, I ran the fuck up out of there. I said, yeah, something's not right. Something ain't right about what's going on. And I got up out of there and I came home and I slept. I had to give me a good nap because I don't know what was going on. I was very aggy. So that's how my election day started. Then I also came online to YouTube to watch a couple of folks, and I'm just so shocked and surprised at how many black people who are either choosing not to vote, or when they are voting, they're voting for things like women's rights, and or they're voting saying, I'm voting to protect women under the auspices of getting rid of Roe versus Wade. Like, a lot of things is just so confusing. But what I realize is that, like, this is the first time I'm ever going to say this. Very much so, like Jay Wilson said, we are a bunch of coworkers. We are. Some of us are friends, but we are coworkers. And like at my job, I don't want to know who you're voting for. I don't care. We got to work together and get along. So your political views mean nothing to me, especially when they're unfounded and have no factual evidence behind it. So I was just telling the crew, like, I have come to the realization that some people, it's best for me not to know your political views, because it was several people that I actually liked down here on YouTube. And from looking at their community wall posts and hearing what they've said, I was at the crew like, wow, this is news to me. This is shocking. So for that reason, I don't want to know nobody else. I'm like, if next 4 years, when this come around, I'm sticking to talking to y'all about this shit and moving on. I don't want to engage. I don't want to see. I don't want to do none of that shit, because the beef sector is not the place where you have educated, logical, coherent conversations about the elections or any political topic. And I'm being honest. I have no business getting so upset like I did today, watching a content creator that I like tell me that having a election watch party is stupid. And why are you doing that? And after you do the presidential watch party, are you gonna do what's next? I was very taken aback. I was shocked. I was hurt. I was all that good stuff. I was like, damn. Wow. So for those reasons, I am not going to be engaging with people and their political view, just like I am with their people in religion. I don't give a fuck about who you study, what God you serve, and all of that shit. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. So moving forward, I am not engaging. Don't ask me my opinion about it. Don't ask me. Don't. Because on the flip side of that, I don't give a fuck about yours. I'm being honest. So hurtful. So I'm sitting here thinking about, y'all are saying all of this stuff. What about the children who are wardens of the state, who depend on federal funding to fund their housing, to fund their social service programs, to fund all of those activities, and just carelessly saying, I don't care what candidate. Yeah, you think about how it impacts you, but it impacts so many people, So I'm saying that in aspect of not voting. Okay. Now, people who live in states where they know Trump is going to win this state, it doesn't matter if I vote or not. You got me. You're right. Your one vote don't matter. But I will tell you this. I will say this. It's not about you voting at that point. It's about you standing up for something. Whether it's for Trump, whether it's for Kamala, it's about you standing up for something. And I can't respect nobody who come down here, talk to me, tell me about this, that, and the third. And on the flip side, they don't give a fuck, especially if people have served in the military, where your benefits are directly affected by who's in office, by who's in Congress. So when I hear that shit, I'll be like, okay, all right. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to nobody, But I just want to make it very fucking clear how I feel and how I stand. No one's gonna tell me I can't talk about what I can't do or how I can't do it. I'm gonna do it. I was very confused. So yeah. Hi crew. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What up? What up? What is goody? Let me make sure I say hello to the first person. Voodoo, GG, youngest. What up? 504. Hey, it's Jay. Hey, boo. What's up? Rick, what up? Tisa, Yuna, what's going on with y'all? Good evening. Lieutenant King Kyos, meow, meow. What up, Shani? What's up, Rainy? Funky J. I done cussed out 6 feet. Listen, Funky, today is not a good day. It has not been one of them days for me. See, had it not been the elections and just been a random day, this would be a great day for me to get beef sector commentary and just spaz on a bitch. But it's just not that kind of day. So I just been sipping my wine and slowly paying attention. I think GA is going to be blue. Let's see. Let's see where we at right now. So this is the live results. These are the live results so far. I just want to make sure I'm going to put it smaller on the screen. How do you make it so I'm bigger than that? Damn, did I get rid of it? Oh, there we go. All right. Y'all can see it. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see it? Yeah, y'all can see it a little bit, maybe some. So that's where we are right now, y'all. So Donald Trump, Arkansas, Donald Trump, South Carolina, Donald Trump, Tennessee, Kamala, Vermont, Massachusetts, Maryland, and DC. Of course. Of course. Of course. These are projections. Those are some projections. So we'll see. Coco. Exactly. Don't take advice from bitches. Kyos, why do they be bothering you? I think they be thinking it's me, but they don't understand. It don't even be me sometimes. It don't even be me. To each its own, but I most definitely voted. Okay, she flipped North Carolina already. I got 3 devices on right now. Oh, she did. Miss Toby. Hey, boo. I just shared the video. Thank you, Ruth D. Truth, aka Coach. I appreciate it. Cruiser. Cruiser. Caramel Bunny. Cruiser, only 48% of votes in Georgia. She leading in North Carolina, but votes still coming in. California polls don't close until 11 p.m. Eastern time. Hold tight. It's going to be all right. We're claiming it. Barn Dog, we claiming it. We here together tonight. Red states always come in first. They are smaller and votes counted quicker. I'm glad you said that I've been. Yes, it's OG Beauty. It's not a good thing at all. E-vote was clutch for me. They let me skip the line and all the E-vote. I wish I could have skipped the line. I'm sitting in chairs over here playing musical chairs. Bitch, you get up, then I get up. I'm like, I'm really looking like, is this what we finna do? I'm like, it's some ghetto shit. Sagittarius Queen, Miss Toby. Let's go. Arizona vote here. Yes, Buddha Bell, come through. Hey, y'all put y'all states in the chat if you comfortable. I just want to know where we voting from. I moved so my DL doesn't match my address. The polling lady was looking at me cockeyed. Oh shit! I don't like to talk positive at work because I liked them before, and now I'm side-eyeing them. Listen, I'm over here like these motherfuckers. I'm like, you did what? If you don't get your ass out of here, focus on what you love. Hey, bougie auntie, Miss Fendi, the president isn't the only issue on the ballot. It's not. It's called the down ballot. So then you got other situations in your state, in your city, in your community. Like for us, we had all of this shit about the inner harbor, the redevelopment, taking out bonds to, the mayor. The mayor here wants to take out $125,000 bond so that they could do some stuff. I think it was with the schools, the facilities, and stuff like that. He also want to do it. He just want to take out a lot of money and shit like that. So all that stuff is important to vote, especially if you own property. Well, I voted for Rabbit, Fat Rabbit Killer. Really, not the Fat Rabbit Killer. I'm not talking to some of my coworkers anymore. Damn, LSA boss, what's up, Thundercat? I cussed out my homeboy. So it ain't just, you know what? This is I needed to come live and talk to y'all. It ain't been me. Damn, we all been under the same. Yo, I've been real aggy, real edgy, real tight. Like, please keep that shit to a minimum. I am not the one. Texas so far is blue. So far. Let me run and get my damn notes, y'all. Hold up. I can't believe I didn't have. Yeah. So, real quick, y'all, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about 4 things tonight that we got to look out for, okay, for this election. 4 things. So, 4 things we got to look out for. The first thing is what they call is a blue shift, okay? And what a blue shift is that most Democratic voters and the larger population of people in most states who do mail-in ballots, what they call provisional ballots, are Democrats, okay? And you have more folks who do in-person voting versus provisional Republicans. So in real time, you can count the Republican voters who are doing in-person. And it's a slow trickle in of votes when they're doing in-person. And they call that the blue shift. That means once they've said a state is like, oh, they have a lot of Republican voters there because they did in-person, what you'll notice is you'll start seeing a blue shift. And that's them counting the provisional ballots because as they're closing tonight, they are counting, baby. They are counting. I've been watching all these news and they've been talking about how they have federal monitors there. They got election monitors. They've been suing. Republicans been suing like, nah, they don't need to be in here watching all kind of shit. So they're trying to count. The biggest state and the heaviest state right now that we have to worry about counting ballots is where? Pennsylvania. Why? Because they have 185,000 ballots that they have to count. They could not start counting them until when? Today, this morning. So they've been counting. So hopefully they're saying we're supposed to know things on time tonight. By the time we go to bed, we're supposed to know the state of Pennsylvania. I said, all right, we'll see. So the blue shift, we have to look at that. We got to see those states that start out red and they start creeping blue. You'll know what the reason is. Now, that's also a sign for Republicans to start filing lawsuits and claiming what, y'all? Rigged. Oh, they rigged it. That's rigged. So you got to watch out for that. The next thing we need to look out for is we won't know the winner until we might not know. Okay, everybody been saying we ain't gonna know the winner. We might. You hold somebody. We might not know the winner until up to 48 hours because you have places like Wisconsin and Pennsylvania who don't start counting their provisional mail-in ballots until the election day. The other states where they've closed them, they were allowed to go ahead and begin counting them. These states don't allow that. So that's extra time. That's more delays. Pennsylvania say they're on it because, effectively the people who are in control, let's just say they're more so Democrats. Whereas you have Wisconsin haven't said anything yet. We haven't heard nothing yet. And so that's another state that's on that blue wall. And that the blue wall, and you'll see right here, this blue wall where it's Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, that's what she wants to get to be able to take home the elections. And so trying very hard to get Wisconsin. So again, that might be another place where we have to look like, okay, what are the votes? We still got some time. Again, that blue shift might happen there. And then, dun, 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 number 3, this is what fucking happened to us in 2016. Had us all thinking like, oh my God, this nigga won the election. Is that winning the popular vote, people, does not mean they win the electoral vote. They're two different things. Popular vote meaning a count of the people of the state. Okay. And then you take that same number and that shows you the total popular vote. How many people collectively together voted for this individual versus a state collection. So, you vote in the state. Once the state tallies who the candidate goes, that state's whole number goes to the candidate. And the states decide on their electoral college number, their electoral vote, based on their congressional seats, how many seats they have in Congress. So everybody, you have to look at that and tell. That's why California have a lot. You have these different places that have a lot. And so if Trump, what we saw was Hillary Clinton took a lot. She had a high percentage of popular vote. Then we turned out and Trump took it. He had the electoral vote. So that's something we have to watch for too. If we see, so it's scenario, if Trump we see has a high popular vote and Kamala doesn't, don't think that it's a loss. Okay. I'm trying to help us walk through this together tonight. Okay. Don't think it's a loss. Hold your horses. Okay. We still have some counting to do. Remember that mail-in provisional ballots. So I want us to cautiously look at all of this stuff. And then the other thing we need to look for that is so very important, so very important, you guys, are the congressional races. The ones that, why you care about the presidential race? Why you won't vote? I ain't voting for the president. You do know there's other things to vote on the ballot, right? You do know that ain't just the president, right? You do know they might throw in there less dirty the water in their county. How y'all want to vote for that? Okay, cool. And while you didn't vote for it, you was that one vote that could have kept clean water in your county. But unfortunately, I digress. The congressional races. Remember, right now, Democrats have the majority in Congress, 51-49. Republicans are expected to pick up Montana and West Virginia, which they did pick up West Virginia. And Wisconsin and Ohio is a toss-up right now. It's a toss-up. Those are the other two toss-ups where Kamala is expected to pick up those two. So to maintain Democratic hold. So now we have the election where we have Kamala and Trump. If Kamala's elected, and then we have a Congress that stays the same. She has a Democratic Congress, and she's the president. That's fair game. However, if Trump comes in office and they're able to flip Congress, do you know how much more dangerous this shit gets? I think that's why my nerves been bad, because I'm looking at the bigger picture and I'm not just focused on the election, bitch. I'm looking at it all. Like, damn, I could take if y'all take Trump, but bitch, I'd be damned if you give us a Congress that's what? Okay, y'all doing too much and moving too far. Okay, so these are things we got to look for tonight. I'm going to drop the link. Okay, before we get into watching like any live coverage and stuff like that, because we're gonna take breaks. We're gonna watch some live coverage. We're gonna do some drinks. We're gonna play some music. I want to have a good time, y'all. I don't want us to be down. I want y'all to help me keep my mood up and stuff. So I'm gonna drop the link. Mods, if y'all could share the link in the chat, I appreciate it. And come up, talk about, when you come up, let me know how you feel about the election. Are you like me? Are you angst? You know what I'm saying? Let me know how you feeling. And any words of encouragement you have to the rest of us. Let's say the odds aren't in our favor and something else happened. That's, I think right now, while we're in the thick of it, is the best time to begin to preparing for your pivoting. So what are you going to do? I'm not going to go out and go shoot nobody. No, I'm just going to have to accept that and move the fuck on and figure out how else I can impact and make change. So, and that's the other stuff. What if he ain't, what you going to do then? The same thing I've been doing. I mean, it just baffles me. It really does baffle me. We know what American looks like with that orange bastard in office. It's a nerve-wracking thought. That's why everyone's so on edge about this election. Oh, hey, TC.
Yeah, what up?
What is going on? What is going on?
What's up?
No, literally what is going on. What is
Listen,
literally.
listen. I've been working all day. Okay, we're gonna have a funky good time.
That's how you
Hey,
feel it. That's how you feel
we're
it.
gonna
That's how you
take
feel
it
it. We got to.
high.
We got to.
Oh,
We got
good
to.
God, good
We ain't got no
God.
choice.
No, you got no choice, baby. But you don't put all your everything out on the first go round, yo.
Mm.
That's like having a date and you letting somebody have all your milk and cookies like so you don't do that. You gotta have you gotta have a second date, a third date. So we have rounds in this, yo. Don't worry about it.
We got rounds in this. Okay.
We
Okay.
got
We got
rounds in
rounds. We
this.
got rounds. TC. So how is the
Pennsylvania.
voting? Pennsylvania. Okay, I was going to ask you, how is the voting going on in your state? Is it
Let me tell you something. Okay, so Philadelphia, I'm gonna talk for Philly, and I know what's going on the Pittsburgh
yeah,
side, so I'm gonna shout out with that Pennsylvania privilege. Philadelphia all day has been hopping. Let me tell you something. It's been amazing. There have been lines for seriously lines
really?
since
There has
this
not been
morning.
no
It's
line.
not. No, nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. I'm
That's
talking
what's
about
up.
North
Let,
Philly,
are we
Mount
talking the minorities showing up?
minorities showing up. But
That's
remember, hold up. But let's we got these little gentrification areas, okay, in our right. Yeah, let's drink on that. Yes, let's drink on it. All right. Woo. And so what we have is we have millennials in there. We have different cultures in there. And let me tell you, they're showing up to the polls. Okay, there's people that I'm like, what color, what culture, what race are you? Like they mixed with all kind of stuff going on. I'm
baby.
like, that's what's up.
You start
Okay,
going after them immigrants. I mean, you never know who
yes,
are legal, but they got family who's been here for years that are immigrants. Now they want to stand up for the family. So now you got, times three, times four. So
thank you.
absolutely. I'm really glad that
That's
this
right.
Rick. Rick, what
Yeah.
up? What's
Can you
up,
hear?
Rick?
Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Is my sound good?
Yep, you
It's
good.
good.
I ain't
You
Yeah.
coming on.
good.
I might a little bit later go out in my living room and shit and come on, but I ain't coming on camera right now.
Ah,
Rick, how's the voting going on in your area? There you go, Rick.
I had to
yeah,
pop on
70.
Red
there.
light says hell.
Pittsburgh is
But
about 70 over 70%.
my
Kamala.
area, I'm not sure because I voted last week.
Oh, you did early voting. Shout out to you for
Uh-huh.
early voting. Did you early vote, TC?
No, I voted at 7:30 tonight. Okay, that's how come I was getting some accurate numbers. But the bottom line is that I know for a fact, I just heard it, that it's over 70% in Pittsburgh, which is Allegheny County, and it's
And
over 75% here in Philadelphia County. They haven't counted the those early bourgeoisie people like Rick. They haven't counted those yet, and we're not gonna count those. We ain't gonna count those yet until we have to take out and do our thing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
well, I ain't there, but this is what I seen that I didn't know. What I seen a couple weeks ago was that in
Hmm.
Pennsylvania they said there was like 17 million people between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. In the rest of the state, there was only 10 million people. So the cities in Pennsylvania are definitely can determine how that state goes.
And
Absolutely.
they and
Absolutely.
and they
Yeah,
said it
he's
was about
absolutely on point. Rick is on
600,
point.
600. They said it was about 600 Latinos in that state alone, and about
600.
600,000.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that number is the immigrant population or the Latino population. And they were saying that out of that, by the time they made that comment, it was like 200 something thousand registered to vote. After that comment that Trump made, it went up to 400, about 400,000 Latinos were registered to vote in the state. And so
Right.
that left about 200 just there. And I'm just curious, like, I wonder if they walked up, if you saw an increase of that population, because I think they're going to be the determining factor in the state of Pennsylvania. I honestly
Absolutely.
do. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I will say this, and I've been saying this all day. Kudos to the Y generation, those millennials, and
Yeah.
that Z generation. Yo, kudos. the brothers and the sisters overwhelmingly came out and participated. But it was another factor about this millennial that I've observed. And one of the things that I saw, because the millennials have been, they saw Obama get in office. They were excited about that, and they were, all that. But then
Oh yeah.
they were like, the millennials is like, this is some bull crap though. This is some bull. This system is some bull. And you know what y'all did? You know what you millennials and the Z generation are doing? They Google, because the old school ain't gonna tell you nothing. Because the old school, the old guard, they gonna keep it. They ain't gonna tell you nothing. So they've been Googling and they've been finding out how to get and be a part and participate and how to get around things and how to do some stuff. And y'all not crying, y'all not bitching, y'all not moaning, y'all not groaning, y'all out here and you're doing the work. And when today, guess what? The millennials showed up.
They showed up.
And folks didn't realize that they were coming. And my generation, and I'm an X generation. I love my XP and HBCU all day and all day. Okay, but here's what I didn't see: my brothers that were over 50 who were getting and having temper tantrums as big old kids. You understand that we can't have that. We're not gonna have that. Oh, I'm not voting for the president. But like you just said, this is the Senate. The Senate is also on this thing. The Congress is also on this thing. What part of this don't you understand? Well, we gotta continue to call after 50? No, we're not. Because the brothers that are 30 and 40 years old are coming and they're gonna take it over. And I don't blame them.
It's funny that a lot of times, folks say what Kamala isn't doing, black men in general, the ones who are voting for Trump, and they say, he's for the economy, but he's also for traditional households. And I just, that always just kills me. It's like, is that the only reason you're voting for him, for traditional households?
Yeah. What does that mean? How do you define that?
That mean? Like, what is that?
Yeah. How do you define that?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
While TC's up here, because we have a woman up here. So this is one of the things that I wanted to bring up with some women that I work with, and they're both in their 70s, okay? So they're both Democrats, but they said that they're both Democrats. They said they don't like Donald Trump, but they said that in their beliefs, they don't believe a woman should lead, that it's in the Bible that a woman shouldn't lead and all that. So they were giving Donald Trump their vote. One's black and one's white. They said they were giving Donald Trump their vote because they don't believe like a woman should lead. It's in the Bible that a woman should lead. How do you feel about that, TC?
They're illiterate and stupid and ignorant.
I think so too. I mean, I can see if it's football or something like that where it's testosterone, but everybody's equal in the mind. Anybody, as long as you're qualified for the job, you can have that job.
But and you know what, Rick?
I feel the same way.
In other countries, in the Caribbean and islands, in some parts of the continent, and in many parts of in Europe, there have been women leaders ever since. There's a Queen of England. There's all kind of stuff going on. Yeah. Where do these ding dong dillies live at? But you know what? That's why they need to be where they need to be. But it is what it is.
Listen, I wish I would have thought of the Queen of England thing, because I would have made that argument against them. Yeah. But they just said, like I said, well, a lot of the women, they help their husbands and stuff, and they said, yeah, they agree with that, but they don't feel like they should be in the front.
And in the Bible, I thought we were supposed to be a separation of church and state. What happened to that? But now they separate it when they want to, but then they so conveniently insert it back in when they don't have any other, when they themselves are insecure. They themselves hate themselves because they never had a chance. They never had anybody who supported them. So they don't want anybody to support another woman.
So they must have grew up like playing the back to their husbands, I'm assuming.
Or whomever, that situation, talking about the church and all that. Get the fuck out of here.
Also a male that I know, they said that they said that like they believe that actually Actually, it was my brother. He said he ain't voting for nobody and shit like that because he don't feel like other countries will respect her. So he said he's just
So
not voting. He said he's just not voting at all because he feels like if she's leading, other countries won't respect us. That was his argument.
right.
I,
So
and I,
once go ahead,
no, I was gonna
King
say,
Roman.
and the sad part about that is that to me is just a microcosm of view of how people view women in totality. Like I could see
Yeah.
that just being like how they think about a woman working, being a CEO at a company, or giving them
Mhm.
instruction. Like, why are you giving me instruction? You're not supposed to be telling me what to do. And that to me just is it's a very, like, people don't understand some of these conservative and traditional values. They work because the environment and the thing and the time and education, the way people were trained, and the access to education was limited. Now we're in 2024 where you have the internet. People are getting smarter. They're starting to look and understand. They want to learn. Women want to find out things. They want to do things. And the environment is making it conducive for that. But you have folks who still want to take that I call it a backwards approach, going backwards while we're
Yeah.
moving forward. And it's a conflict. Like right now, what we're dealing with is somebody who's who's literally running for an election and saying to women, I'm gonna take Roe v. versus Wade from you, but I'm gonna give you something better because I'm gonna protect you. And I'm saying to myself, that
Mm,
don't work in 2024 because you have so
right.
many different versions of women now that you're not speaking to the same type of women you were speaking to, and they'd be like, okay, it's more than
Mhm.
just those, the religious view. And it's so difficult for other people to see that. Like, they think that, don't you believe in the Bible? It's not about me believing in the Bible. I could believe in the Bible all day. We're talking about a country of immigrants. It ain't just about, you got the
Right.
Quran here, you got all of these different modes and morals and ethics. So you want everybody to adopt your ideology. Okay,
Right.
so why aren't we adopting
Mm.
their ideologies? You got some countries who say women, what, they shouldn't drive? Is that too
Yeah.
far?
Yeah.
Are we going too far? That's
Thank
too
you.
far. But taking Roe versus away from women, that's all right. That's enough. It's just so backwards to me when I
Crazy.
when I hear men make that. Now, let me say this too, because I don't want black men to think that they don't have the right to say that. My only thing is, if you say you're not voting for Donald Trump because of these things for with women, then can you also say why and what he would do to make that better? Because see, I rarely get this is what he's gonna do. Like, what do you think he's gonna? I always say about economy when black people in general, he's gonna give us a better economy. What do you think he's gonna do for you? Don't tell us, give us,
Personally,
because we ain't
exactly.
a part of the us. Tell me what he's gonna do for you.
Listen. You saying that though is like I had a discussion earlier too about Latino voters. Okay, there's people that I know that are Latino American from Texas and Georgia too, that they vote for Donald Trump, and I'm like, wow, you make $60,000 a year. You're a regular worker. Like, what? It. I don't think some Latinos understand like we do that Democrats for the working class and the Republicans are for the rich. If you're still out here grinding and paying taxes and all that, they are not going to help you. They think like voting with voting Republican puts them in some type of upper echelon, and they're just regular
Exactly.
regular people. They don't
Right. That's
understand the
exactly.
concept of Democrat and Republican. They don't understand that.
And that's exactly what a lot of folks think, and it's unfortunate, because I'm looking at them and I'm saying that the very people that you are siding with or that you are aligning yourself with are the very same people that when your people come from other countries, they're the ones that hire them, and they hire them under the table. They never allow them to even get it, to become a natural citizen, if you will. They never allow that to happen. They just want you
Right.
to continue to, and then they'll send you back
They-
if you get out of
Now,
sorts. They make these people work in fear. They get out of sorts. Then they're
mhm.
gonna say, "Well, if you get out of line, I'm gonna send you back." And then these people are like, they can't hardly. Ooh, they can't. You say hello to them, they're looking down, and you can hardly even talk to them.
Right. Now Vero in the chat said, who's they? I'm not talking about all Hispanic Americans, but a lot of Hispanic Americans in Texas, in Georgia, and in Florida, I'd say
New
Texas,
York.
Georgia, Florida, and California, they vote Republican. I don't know why.
That's true. Because in New York and in Pennsylvania, they do not.
Yeah, they don't. Not in New York and Pennsylvania. That's why I can't say all of them, but it's a lot of them in the southern states. They do. They vote Republican. I don't understand why. That's not helping them.
Absolutely.
So
That's not helping them save money on taxes or anything. They're I feel like Republicans are, they're for the rich. They're for the rich saving tax money and stuff, and Democrats are for us saving. So if you're a regular worker, I feel like you should be Democrat. That's how I was raised. My family are voting Democrat. They always been in their voting no matter what. I don't care if Joe Biden was running. Joe Biden was still getting their vote, regardless if they like them, care for them or not. They're just voting that way all the time.
I will, and see, here's the thing. I will network, and I will network. I have, folks on the other side of the pond, on the other side of the aisle, and I will definitely network with folks, et cetera, et cetera. Oftentimes I split my ticket. I don't always vote for, the whole entire Democratic ticket.
Yeah,
I will vote for an issue. You know what I mean?
What works for you in the issues. Yeah. I respect that. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I do the same thing. I look at every single issue on that ballot, and I make sure, like, okay, yeah, I'm good here. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Nope, I don't care. Nah, I ain't good. I really do, because I guess because I study the effects of Barack political theater. And I understand how some people may feel like they won't make an impact by voting, and I get that, but I see how it does make an impact when you do vote, because not only is it about you voting, it's the thought behind. You understand why you should be voting, so now you can not only talk to yourself and go and exercise your right to vote, but you can share that with other people and exercise your democratic process. Imagine if we were in a country where they don't vote and you can't vote, then you'd be mad, like, I can't even do nothing. So for me, that's how I feel. I wanted to share this with you all real quick. These are some updates really quickly.
Updates. Okay, let's see what's going on.
With some counts in, remember our battleground states were Nevada. What was the other battleground?
Was it Pennsylvania, Michigan,
Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, Arizona? So we're looking for those. So Arizona being one of them. So Arizona right now, as they're looking at it, it's a 67.4% Republican lead, which that's not surprising.
No,
that's not surprising at all.
No, that's not.
No, because that went actually Republican last time. But is New Mexico's in yet or no?
Mexico is Democrat so far. Just looking at exit polls, and y'all know exit polls aren't legit. These are just exit polls of information that some of these agencies are able to receive. So you see Michigan is leading Democrat right now. Wisconsin,
what time is it?
Democrat. It's 9:06
What time is it in Arizona? It's 3 hours.
It's 2. Yeah, I think it's 3 hours. I think it's on PST time. So it's 6:06 right now.
It's 6. Okay. So they still have 2 hours.
Closed. Yeah, exactly. Their polls haven't closed. Iowa is the funny one, because earlier in the week there was this poll that came out and said that Iowa was going to be more leaning towards more Kamala. But as we look now, remember what I told y'all about that blue shift, how the provisional votes got to come in, and those are slowly coming in because they're counting them right now. So as we're looking at Iowa, where they have a 93.0 lead in Republican, that's basically all walk-in. And when you look at the Democrats who did walk-in right now, counting, it's 7%. So, and these are exit polling only. So we don't have the official, results. But if you look at this results, man, let me see if it'll pop
I
up.
noticed with the last election too, a lot of the major cities, they don't come in right away. So like Atlanta could change the game in Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Atlanta
there
could
you
change
go.
the game in Georgia.
And as if I'm not mistaken, I think that's part of the I guess the technique, and that's part of what's getting ready to happen. They already know that they cannot.
Thank you, Obada. I really appreciate that.
I seen that with Stacey Abrams. Like Atlanta can change the game
Right.
in the state. Yeah.
That's it. That's right. And all
But
the cities they're doing that. They're not gonna let they're not gonna let all the votes be known. It's just not gonna happen. Just the ones that that are very much tangible as far as the machine are concerned. That those are the ones that we're looking at right now. But also they've included some other ones. I think of the early voter folks as well. But there's still some that are the ones from out of the country. It's a whole process. This is very
So look,
interesting.
I got something for you guys, both of you, because you two seem more knowledgeable in politics than me. Honestly, I'm really not. I know some things, but not everything. So, but I've seen a poll earlier, right? And so it said the most important issue in the country, and so foreign policy it was 4%, immigration it was 11%, abortion was 14%, the economy was 31%, and state of democracy was 35%. This is the stuff that the people in the country care about. What is state of democracy? I mean, I don't want to sound dumb, but I don't know. Like, what
That's a good question.
most people that's most people's biggest issue in this country, or what's most important to them is the state of democracy. 35%. What is that?
When I hear
Uh-oh.
that, to me, that's sort of like the trust in the government. It's sort of one of them questions like, do you trust the government, or do you trust, the government to put forth bills and stuff like that in your favor? I did see that too.
And how much governing from the government do you really want? You know what I mean? Like you say, state of democracy. There's some things that they don't want the government a part of in totality, and then there's some things people want to have their own autonomy, and then there's some things that people want the government to have total. They want to make sure that they have some say so or some input in it. So that's that kind of like what King Roman is saying. The trust. It's about the trust of the government. How much
That's the
government?
most important thing to Americans is the trust of the government. Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
The second one was the economy, and that's the most important to me. I mean, we all care about grocery prices, gas prices, taxes. That's all stuff that really affects us every day. That's the most important thing to me.
I agree.
The economy.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, people keep saying Trump is gonna be great, and you know what he want to do when he get in office the first day? He wants to call the Mexico president and tell her, we're gonna slap 20%. I was it a 20% tariff on any imports that exports and imports that come in, and then he wants to call China and tell them 35%, and that could work both ways. We can see inflation, prices going up on groceries and products.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, people haven't really broke down what that means when he says, I'm going to make the economy better. And for who? Like, for who? Are you saying many businesses so they can fatten their pockets, or American people? So,
Roman, did you watch Kamala the Club Shay Shay interview?
I did.
Yeah. That was like, she said that this is what, and I actually had my brother watch that, and it kind of changed his mind when he seen that. But it was like she was like, she wants to come through and actually make a difference for the people and stuff, and he wants to like get back. He wants to get in office so he can get back at all the people like that he had beef with or that crossed him, all the Republicans that had turned on him. That's his reason for wanting to come in to settle beefs and do all that type of shit. But she actually don't care about none of that shit. She actually wants to make a difference for the people. I thought that was good.
Right. And that's a good point, because if I'm not mistaken, another content creator had mentioned it this evening, and I totally forgot about the fact that, see, he was a one-term wonder. You know what I'm saying? He only did 4 years, and that was it. So yes, you're absolutely right, Rick Reed, that he's coming in on a revenge tip, and he has vengeance, and he's doing all these volatile things. It's just absolutely crazy. And when you have persons like that around, they're absolutely no good, and they're destructive, and everything and everybody around them will destroy itself.
Like, a lot of people in the chat right now are writing like he wants to get into office to avoid prison, and I believe that too.
Absolutely. Okay. But do I think he'll ever go to prison? No, I don't think he'll ever like be a day in prison. But
And look how all the felonies he got, they will throw the average person all the way up under the jail for life.
Running for president. Get out of here. Are you kidding me? Running for president. You got 30 something.
Yeah.
That's a good.
So-
I didn't realize that either. That he might be trying to run from prison. Ain't that about? You know what? Damn.
So he's taken 4 states since 9:04 p.m., which include Texas, Wyoming, North Dakota, and South Dakota, which we all knew.
That whole middle of the country, that's all going to be red. We know that already.
Right.
And they keep saying that
whole middle of the country.
They're saying that Georgia right now is trending towards Trump, and Harris will need help from big Democratic vote bases. Now, remember the provisional vote, and Georgia was one of the largest people having people sign up. Now, they said that was mostly Republican voters who signed up to do provisional voting, which is either early voting, walk-in, or mail-in ballots. And so we haven't counted those yet. Those are still coming in. So Harris still has a chance in Georgia. I really hope Georgia don't slip.
I know, because that was really good to have Georgia, because
it was.
it's been so long, but I mean Georgia is amazing, and we need Georgia. So you know, I think that they have a little trick up their sleeve, and they're not going to let everything out. So I think it's going to be great.
The thing with Georgia is like all they got is Atlanta, you know, and then the rest of that, the Georgia's a big state, and all that stuff is like ran by the white folks. I mean, to be honest, it is. It's one of them states. But what surprises me though? What surprises me is that Ohio, sometimes they have flipped both ways, but sometimes they are Republican, but they have all those cities. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird that it's not Democrat. I think it's just people that's not getting out to actually vote or something, because they got too many cities to be Republican to me.
I agree.
Hey y'all,
Totally agree.
They're talking about Pennsylvania right now, the counties in Pennsylvania and where they are. So let's listen to this real quick.
Okay.
Can y'all see it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can hear it if you just.
Oh wait, I gotta switch screens. I'm so slow. I gotta share the other screen. I'm over here looking at it, but I ain't shared. Woo! When I tell you today, I was aggy. All right, let's go. Let me see now. Can you?
Early lead here, and again, so much of the vote still needs to be counted, but you got to wonder.
And we've been focused in on those collar counties. We're waiting for a lot of vote to come in from them, but Harris running ahead of the 538 benchmarks and ahead of Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton's numbers. That is probably the most closely watched of those Philadelphia suburban counties.
That's what you need. Them counties
overall. And we're
the county
a lot of vote out of
That's
Philadelphia.
right, Rick. Yeah.
And if you just look at this, you see those big blue dots at the eastern part of the state. Once again, those are places we're waiting for vote. Those red dots, though, are significant, and they add up as they move across the state.
20% of the vote in Pennsylvania. Kamala Harris with an early lead here. And again, so much of the vote still needs to be counted, but you got to wonder if we're looking, and it's early, I'm just saying, if we're looking at this blue wall strategy coming to life as we're watching these numbers come in from Georgia, where she's not hitting some of the benchmarks she needs. In North Carolina, still kind of an untold story. Pretty close, actually, when you dig into those counties and see where the vote still remains. But in Pennsylvania, at least with the early vote so far, it appears that she's hitting some of the benchmarks that she hoped to and outperforming them, particularly in the collar counties there with some more conservative leaning suburbs of Philadelphia. So quite a story unfolding here. So this is where the numbers come in. This is where it actually gets really interesting. So don't go away. We'll dig back into Pennsylvania. Michigan also, the first numbers coming in from Michigan.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let's go Michigan.
If she takes Pennsylvania, she got a strong shot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you take Pennsylvania, it might be a wrap for real. But you know,
I'm glad to see that, because I was like, oh my gosh, Pennsylvania is so difficult. But it's good to see that the areas that are heavily populated, she got. The rural areas, of course, he has.
That don't matter because there ain't nobody there.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
The whole middle of that state, don't nobody live there. That's Amish country. That's trees and wood.
Exactly. It's like 10 people there. All 10 people voted for him. All right, that's great.
I've never, listen, I'm born and raised in Pennsylvania. I've never been to most of that stuff in the middle. I've never even crossed through there, never in my life.
Oh
want to get your
wow. Okay.
opinion on this question right here that came in the chat. So the question was,
Mhm.
how do we feel about the beautiful ones that didn't vote? What are your thoughts about those who can vote but chose not to vote?
I feel like they should have exercised their right to vote. There's a lot of people that could vote that don't. You know, I was one of them. You know what I'm saying? This is my first time ever voting. So I mean, I was one of them. I didn't feel like it would affect me personally. I always felt like that, and like I'm not really into a lot of group politics. I'm just like whatever happens, whatever. Like it's not really going to affect my life, type of thing. I always felt like that. So this is actually my first time voting, but the reason why I did is because I want to be a part of history. The reason why I want Kamala Harris to win, like honestly, I don't trust no
Yes.
listen, I don't trust no politician. They're all rich.
Thank
They
you.
all got more money than me. They're all more well off than me.
Thank
And it's
you.
a whole chess game, honestly, to me. And this is how I thought it's a whole chess game that both sides are playing, and they're using us. We're the little pieces and shit that they're using in their own game. They're behind the scenes, probably kicking it, talking to whatever. It's a whole game and thing and shit like that. But the reason why I voted for Kamala Harris is because she'll be the first woman. She's a minority. It's in our generation, in our lifetime. I want to see that. You know, I want to be like a part
There
of
you
this.
go.
We're alive for it right now. You know what I'm saying? It's going down in the history books if she wins. I mean, it would be with him too. Like he was voted out. If he gets voted back in, that's never happened before. There's certain we never had a felon for a president. That's some new shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all going to be historical. But I would rather I'd rather it be her than him. I think she's way more deserving. It's about time that women get like respect. Women weren't able to vote. They weren't able to do a lot of things. They had to play the back, and everybody's equal. If this country stands on equality and everything like that, it's about time. And I just want to be a woman's going to win eventually, but I want to see it now while we're allowed to see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's
Yes,
why.
Jay. I think that is I think that is so I think it's just dope that that's your way of thinking because again I look at what people say then I apply it to them in general and that just lets me know that there are things that you just will not entertain, not engage, but when you realize the importance of it, when you realize the impact of it
Right.
Mhm.
individually, then
A
you know it's
woman
time to
will be
make
president.
that move. Yeah, I like that.
A woman will be president eventually, but I want it now while we're alive to see it. I want it to happen now while we're here.
Yes,
Exactly.
Angela, that's
Exactly.
Rick. That's Rick.
That's what's
What
up.
about you, TC?
I've gotten to a point where I'm a little jaded. So there's two ways I'm thinking about this. Number one, I feel like a lot of folks that are disgruntled, and then they spew out the poison to other people, and they try to get other people not to do it because they're not doing it. Now, those people I have an issue with. If you're not doing it, keep it to yourself. But if you're not doing it and then you tell everybody else not to do it, now I have an issue with you. And it's not right. And you need to, there's certain things that is a particular type of decorum, political decorum that we must have. And I think it's just overall general, just human being decorum. I may not like it or I may not want to do it. But at the bottom line, you may drive a Porsche. I may want to drive a BMW at the same time, like Rick Reed said, they are all at the end of the day, Kamala and Donald, they're going to have their children and grandchildren and great grandchildren are already set up. Okay. And so we have to keep our wit about ourselves and so that we can do what we need to do for our children and grandchildren. I want to make history. I want to make history today. Why not? Why not? It's way over. It's way over time. But don't come with me. Don't come to me with your vitriol because you have some poison issues. Don't do that. Yeah.
Like I don't believe they're going to do everything they say. Like a lot of it is rhetoric and stuff like that. But it's just what I want to see. Like you have to choose one. That's what I want to see. I want to see her. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. And like give her a chance. We already know what he can do. Like let's see what she can do.
Right.
But okay, so I got some things, to say. So this is one point that she made also that I like, that she said she was going to give right now, if you start a new business, you get $5,000. But she said she wants to give 25,000 to people to start new businesses. That could really jumpstart somebody onto something.
And first time home buyers. And first time home
Oh yeah,
buyers.
yeah. She said that too. Then she said
Yes.
25K too for that. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, indeedy. Because now it's only 10. And so it's now she brought it up to 25 grand. And
For
I
down payment
appreciated that.
assistance. Yes, for down payment assistance. Yeah, that's dope. I mean, I
That
think that
is
could actually give.
Hell yeah,
I,
you ain't gotta put too much down on your down payment when you got programs like that.
you're good. 25K. You don't even need that much. If you're getting like a
That's what I'm
conventional loan,
saying.
you need 3%. That'll cover pretty much anything, everything.
that can it definitely will cover a lot.
Hmm.
You're absolutely right, Rick, and that's why I appreciated, and I appreciated her, her stance on small businesses. I appreciated her stance on immigration reform, and I'm very much into the immigration part, the immigration reform. I like the fact that and when I asked her a question about defining traditional households, she said that traditional wasn't the same definition as most people think of it as in terms of wife and husband and things of that nature. She said traditional meaning having food, clothing, water, shelter, having a means to be able to get to where you need to get your produce, to get to your job, to be able to do your laundry, have access to certain things in the community. That's what she meant by traditional.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
great response.
You know what I'm saying? Because people will be forgetting, because just because you have two parents, be it male, female, be it male, male, be it female, female, people still struggle.
Or grandparents. Yeah, exactly. Because
And
there's a lot
and
of
you there
grandparents
you
raising
go.
their
Thank you. Thank
tons of
you.
grandparents raising their grandchildren.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And they're raising them for a myriad of reasons. Okay, it's a lot of stuff going on. So like all of that,
Okay.
come on.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
Hi. How are y'all
Thank you for
all
coming,
doing?
right,
boo.
Kay, what's up, Aggie Prime, my sister?
Aggie Pride. So I just wanted to kind of like make everybody take a real nice deep breath. It's always a red mirage before the blue shift. So the smaller
Mhm.
rural states, they report sooner. It's not a lot of people, right? New York hasn't reported, like all of the major big states haven't reported yet that have the heavier electoral college counts that really
That's
count, right?
right.
So everybody
Hey,
take a deep breath, you know what I mean? She has an
Plus the
easier,
Montanas,
go ahead.
the
Yep.
Idaho. We
Yep.
already know what that's
Yep.
given. We already
That's
know
all
what
of
that's
those.
given.
In Georgia right now, because y'all know I got people in the politics, and I'm talking to them, like texting them and things like that. Georgia right now, there's 1 million voters sitting in Gwinnett County, and
Right.
only 15,000 votes have been turned in. Like, it's gonna be a long night in Atlanta.
What about the other count? You don't know, like, about the Cobbs, the.
So the Cobb has like 2 million voters. They've only, I think it was about 60,000. It's going to be a long night there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
okay,
they count the mail-in ballots first, then it's the early voter, then it's the actual day of. That's
right.
how they do it. So that's what takes them so long to get that done. And they're only able to start right literally the first hour that the polls closed. The polls were
Right.
extended for
It's
30
7.
minutes. The polls were extended for 30 minutes. So that extends that right there. So they're going to have a long night on their hands right now.
Okay. Okay.
Also, um you've got New York hasn't even reported yet. Like we know which way they're gonna go, but they
And
haven't
we know,
reported yet.
right,
Right.
right,
New Jersey hasn't yet. We know which the numbers are already out. She's mollywhopping him there. Pennsylvania, it's not even a question. It's going to go to her. Like it just is. It's
right.
too far. It's way too far, and there's not enough votes for him to catch up. California, we know what that's going to do. That's what I think. That's what 40, 50 electoral
Right.
college votes right there, points or whatever. So she's gonna catch up. It's all. I mean, it's 62 to 162 right now, and the major hitters haven't even turned in. You've got North Carolina, 200,000 votes out of Mecklenburg County that are blue votes haven't even been turned in yet.
See what I'm right.
Which city is in that county, K-Fit? Do you know?
Charlotte.
Is that Charlotte?
That's
You said?
Charlotte.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
Charlotte. You've got the Raleigh-Durham area where the HBCUs, the college town, not a lot of those votes have been turned in either. It's a slow churning because so many, 4.4 million early voted. They're still counting those. Like they're literally still counting those. The mail-in ballot, like they have to hand count those. I know a couple of people who are hand counting in a lot of states right now, and it's like it looks like, oh, it's gonna be all red. Yeah, wait until about 11 o'clock. When you wait until about 11 o'clock, it always shifts. And I believe, me personally, I think it's gonna be boiled down to Detroit, Atlanta, and either North Carolina or
Charlotte. Right. There you go. There you go.
or either
I think Philly too. Philly.
and it's gonna run through Pennsylvania. It's gonna run the same way that pretty much Biden won. She's just gonna have a bigger. She's got 21 ways to get there. Her 21 ways are a little bit easier than his 20 ways to get there, because it's so many that he has to have, and there's some that she can actually do without. You know what I'm saying? Like it really is. So she could lose North Carolina and still win. She could lose Georgia and still win, because you got Virginia. You've got these other that will cancel out some of his. And remember, it's the one who gets there first. There's no way he's not even going to come close to the West Coast. So the West Coast is hers. That it just is what it is. And that's almost 100 votes, right? That's almost 100 points right there. So you know,
and you think they'll take Nevada also?
it is very close. That one, I think, is going to be the surprise.
Yeah, that'll be a good. Yeah.
I think that will be the surprise.
Who's going to be the surprise?
Nevada, because
Okay.
normally that is a red leaning state. But right now, one of their biggest pollsters has been saying she is up. That's what they've been saying. And a lot of things that they're not counting, these exit polls, ignore them, because it depends on where you are with the exit polls. Like you might be in a rural area with the exit polls. You got to remember, they're not counting the first time voters. They don't have any data on them. They don't know which way they're going to go. And most of these first time voters are going for her. It just is
going for her. Right.
Yeah, they are.
Right.
And you know, and you know, in Vegas, they just put out that thing where they're not counting, like, I think it was like 17,000 votes, and they want all those people to come back and verify their signatures.
Their signature. Yeah. And I think
on their ballot.
Wow.
Yeah. That's so dumb.
Did they do mail-ins?
Yeah, they did mail-in ballots. They didn't
So I
So
mean,
it's gonna be a long minute.
It's gonna be a long night. She's closed in on him in a lot of states right now. I'm watching her. It's a slow grind. It's gonna be a slow grind, because normally out of Gwinnett County, normally it's about 500,000 votes that come out of there. Normally, it's not even. She just won New York. New York is 28 electoral votes right there. What I tell you.
See what I'm saying? You see,
It's gonna begin to flip. Like I don't
That's
even
what
know.
I'm saying.
I don't know why they're not calling Pennsylvania. I don't even know why.
How many is Pennsylvania? Is it 19? How many elections?
I think it's 19.
It's 19.
Yeah.
Them states got big. Like them Kentucky's is only 8 and shit like that. Them other states is big numbers. That's all she needed though.
Right. And that's why the saying goes in politics on, on the general election is the red mirage, the blue shift, because the
Mhm.
red always goes first and the
Mhm.
blue comes right after.
Yep.
Virginia is a toss up right now, but Arlington, Virginia is very heavily Democratic leaning. They haven't
Right.
even really, reported there yet. And she's not even she's losing by less than a percentage point right now. She's doing a lot better than a lot of people are giving her credit for. Like she just is. She just is. She really is. Like
Gotcha.
I'm watching like the individual, because here's how it's counted. You looked at the heavily populated counties and
What's up,
Right.
sis?
say we can just let's, for hypothetics, we're in Arlington, Virginia, and say it's 800,000 voters that are in there and 600,000 people voted. If 500,000 of those votes have been calculated and they're going to her, they're going to call it for her, because
That's right.
there's no more votes to find.
Boom.
Right. Right.
And that's how it works. So when you see, oh, it's only 14%, but they're already calling it, they're calling it because there's no more votes to find that could beat her, or
Right.
could come up. That's, look, 35%
Like,
of New York is already in, and they already calling it. You know
They're
what I mean?
calling it.
Like
it's
And
like the
and
major
that's what
cities have
that's
came in
what you were
already.
saying, Rick.
exactly.
And that's what Rick was just saying about with like
Hmm.
Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh and those in between. The in between, the red is already calling it. But
Yeah,
like you
the in
said, it's
between don't
only
matter
it don't right, exactly.
No, and they
Exactly.
don't
because
like.
don't nobody live there.
Right.
That's why those counties are coming in so quick because nobody lives there.
Nobody lives
Boom.
there. They only have 100. They
That's
only
it.
have maybe 20,000 population. It's easy to count
Right.
that. They don't have long lines. They don't have this. They don't
Thank
have
you.
Right.
that.
There you go.
Where there's people still standing. My cousin is in line right now, standing in Gwinnett County right now. Still, they're still
Right.
standing in line
Okay.
in Atlanta.
Someone in the
That's
chat said Trump got Tennessee and Louisiana, but those
He
are
did.
given. Those are always
Yeah,
Republican. Both of
yeah,
them.
they're always, well, nobody, it was, I think, only 20 something percent of African Americans actually voted in Louisiana.
That's the problem too. That's the problem
That's the problem,
in a lot of states, not just Louisiana. A lot of states.
right, right.
But
So,
y'all, K Fit, you reminded me though, real quick before you get
mhm.
back into it, because you're doing a great job. But y'all, so when you was talking about Georgia and shit, right? I had seen earlier when I was watching before the polls even stopped and they started tallying up stuff, that Rudy Giuliani pulled up to the polls to vote in New York in that Mercedes Benz that he owes them people. And did anybody else see that he owes them people in Georgia? You know they won the lawsuit against them. Y'all seen that? And they were awarded. He didn't pay yet, so they were awarded his penthouse. They were awarded that Benz. They
Mhm,
were awarded
mhm.
26
All his
watches, all
jewelry,
Lexus, and
all
all
his
that.
furniture, all
Then
the
they said
electronics that are
he pulled
inside
up
of
the
it.
vote today in that Benz that he owes those people, and they're saying he's refusing to hand over the property that is their property.
wow.
I
So
can
you
see him
see that,
doing
Miss
that. He's an
Susan?
asshole. He's an asshole like that. So I could absolutely see he's disgruntled. He's been disbarred. So he can't even practice law anymore. He's going to jail.
Really, Kay?
Yeah, he
Really?
can't practice. Yeah, New York told him to get the
Damn.
hell out of here.
He
That
should be
your
Yep.
arrested for not
that
turning over
attorney
that stuff.
general, listen, that attorney general up in New York, she is not playing with
Letitia
nobody.
Letitia James don't play.
She's not playing like she's
It's
Mm-mm.
all
playing
in the name. What you mean, Letitia? Come on
Letitia
now.
James don't play. She
Letitia,
don't
I don't
play.
know no Letitia that play. Oh
Exactly.
y'all.
Letitia
Oh,
James
we
don't
got
play.
one person that called in. Hey Bobby, can you hear us?
oh, okay,
Hey, what's
Bobby.
going on?
Can you turn the caller up a little bit, Roman?
Yeah.
Did did you vote early? And the state you're in is Texas. Was it a lot long lines? Is it really low, y'all? I'm trying to. Oh, that's why it's low. Okay. Yeah, sorry, y'all. 1 second, Bobby. I know why it's low. Give me 1 second.
Okay, I can try to turn up my volume too.
No, it was me. You'll be okay. Bobby, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Can y'all hear her now?
Yeah, I can hear it. What happened?
You said there was a lot of people at the voting lines.
I see a lot of people in certain areas or certain places that you can see lines and a lot of like lots and things like that where people were waiting, but just to get into a school because being in Texas there's a lot of places that you can vote at, a lot. It's not very happy red state right now. You would hope that it would have changed. Yeah, it's definitely nervous. But the electoral votes is what matters. People are still voting in the West Coast. Anybody that's listening, please just go vote. I'm just nervous. I'm scared, Roman. I really am. This is a big moment in history.
Listen, I understand. Hey, you guys, I want to since we're doing the watch party tonight, I want to take every time I'm watching several news channels and all that stuff. I
Me
want us
too.
to take a moment real quick so that we can hear what they're saying about North Carolina. They're counting the counties again. So I wanna look at that and see where we are with that.
And you also have 25 minutes until the next wave of polls close. So
Polls closed.
typically, so what happens is about every 30 to 45 minutes, you'll see a refresh of a heavy, large update from different counties all over. That's typically how it is. So this next wave,
At 10 o'clock?
yeah, is the next wave will be at
What
10.
she needs to be doing, and
Hold on.
very well in the bluer parts of the research
Hold on. Okay, so the
triangle
next wave is
area.
gonna be at.
But when you get out
Come
into Trump
on.
country, it looks like Trump numbers.
Okay, so it's gonna be at 10 o'clock. All right, so it's 9:40. So around 10
Mhm.
o'clock, we're gonna go back and look at the polls again
Where
too.
will that be? Will that be California yet or no?
No,
No.
California won't be until 11, and they'll be very quick. They'll be
Right.
very quick. California
They're
don't
gonna
play.
probably, and California's gonna probably call it. New York, California, it's
They're
a
very
done deal for
quick.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really quick. They
So,
have it mastered. So
so Roman, what we're watching here is so the cities in North Carolina aren't all tallied up yet, or
Nope, not all of them. The ones in the
they
gray aren't.
they haven't reported.
And it's
So
Reported.
it's like they're scanning those ballots in and they're tallying them up and then sending them over.
so that 61 to 37 still don't mean anything.
It really doesn't.
Right,
I think she's going to
exactly.
pull it out. Just like Michigan. She's up in Michigan, even though they're calling it a toss up, but she's up in Michigan. And she's up in Wisconsin. She's up in Pennsylvania. Those are three must have states. So
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's play this. Let me.
really remarkable to see these numbers tracking how close they are, within a tenth of percentage point of our 538 numbers, and just around within a percentage point or so of what we've seen in the past with past Democrats. We've been talking a little bit about Nash County. We're up to almost 90% reporting there in what's something of a bellwether county, a potential swing county. Biden was able to eke out a victory here. Trump is now on the other side of a potential win in that part of the state. So it's really interesting because you can see the candidate strategies in action with Harris seemingly effectively driving up the vote in some more liberal areas. We're waiting on a lot of vote right here in Mecklenburg County. That is Charlotte only about 10% in right now. Too early to really draw too much into what is a big part of the state, but an area where Democrats have had turnout problems in the past.
Yeah, only 10% of the vote in. And what's the benchmark she needs to be hitting there?
Yeah, she needs to be getting about six. Let's look at the number. She's at 67%. She's at 63. Again, it depends on the vote type right now.
Right.
But we don't really have a lot to say about it yet. But that's going to be key if she's going to overcome that deficit of now 115,000 votes with about a little more than half of the vote in.
Let's look at Georgia. What do we see?
Yeah, so Georgia's trending a little bit worse, at least in our numbers right now for Harris. 210,000. Trump seems to be in a pretty good position right now, but we're still waiting on so much vote. But just to take you around a little bit, the Atlanta metro area, we've seen a significant amount of vote in Fulton County. It's a place where Harris has to be winning big, and she is winning big, almost exactly hitting her benchmark. DeKalb County, again, almost exactly at that number, places where she's racking up big numbers because she's then bleeding support elsewhere in the state, including in some of the outlying suburbs of Atlanta. Donald Trump doing very well in a lot of these places, and just bringing up these 19, 20,000, 40,000 votes in all these different counties across the state. And that's why you see now this edge beginning to emerge of 211,000 votes. Gwinnett County is going to be very important here. It's about 8-9% of the entire state. Right now, Harris up about 60-40 there with only about 16% of the vote in. We're going to look at this all night to where we think the votes are. Those big blue dots seem to suggest there's a lot there, but all those red dots add up as well. So there's still a good amount of Republican vote. And again,
just explain
Trump
that,
has
if you
an
will.
edge right
Again,
now.
for the audience looking, the size of those dots actually is proportional to the amount of vote that we believe is still outstanding.
Yeah, for every county, some of them are blue counties, some of them are red counties, some are more purple. And so if it's a 50-50 county, you're not going to get a lot of vote edge one way or the other. But this is really Atlanta and the suburbs, some of these over.
I wanted to pause right there because this is exactly what Kay was just talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see that
That's
these
it
votes
right
are
there.
already coming in,
Mhm.
and you see that those blue dots we're waiting on. But look how fucking big
how
those
big
blue
it
dots
is.
are.
Yes,
Yeah, because
So-
and
Atlanta
that
is
is
huge. Like,
that is probably about 4 million people right there. That's about
and
4 million
maybe
people.
six. Maybe six.
And it
Yeah.
could be more. It could be more,
Mhm.
but I would give it.
Mhm.
You've got Gwinnett that has 2 million. You've got Gwinnett that has 1 million people in it. You've got you've
Wow.
got Fulton County who has 2 million people in it. You got DeKalb that's like 1.5 million. You have all of those
Cobb,
insignificant.
but
You
you
got
also
Cobb
have,
County too.
but you
Yeah.
also have like Clayton and all
That
those
are
play a
that are
role too.
bordering that
Anything
share
up
a
close
border.
to that.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, that share a border. And you have to remember those are suburbial people that are progressive that live there, right? That are transplants that live there.
Yeah. Yep.
And so you've got doctors and nurses and things that
Mhm.
live in those areas. They don't like the way that they're not able to do their jobs anymore, because they're
Right.
trying to prevent them from doing what they went to school, what they pledged an oath to do. Again, the last election, it took the next day till about 11 a.m. before all of the votes in that Atlanta area came in. And it's just the way that they count, right? It's the
Mhm.
way that they count that takes so long, and people are still in line there. So I mean, it's gonna be a long night. I'm gonna tell you, it's probably gonna sit around 225. The number is going to sit at 225 for a while, and then you'll see it'll begin to pop and it'll move real fast. Like
And that
that's
bottom
probably
right,
what'll happen.
y'all, is Savannah over there,
Yes, that's correct.
which is
Yes.
what is Chatham County or something like that, I believe.
That is another
Who
heavy.
just joined us? Somebody joined us.
Yes, I did. Hello,
Yeah,
everybody.
Bobby just joined us. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Bobby.
You know.
So I'm gonna finish this last little Georgia clip and then we move on.
Lapping dots.
K Fit is on it. I'm telling you.
On point, baby. I
This
just had
panel
to
is dope. This
I
is a
studied
dope
this.
panel.
I went to school
that is
for this.
still out, but
So.
we're edging up to about 3/4 of the vote in, and we've seen nights like this develop where it gets harder and harder to make up a gap.
Yeah, it's really interesting. A lot of what you just showed us shows Kamala Harris hitting her benchmark or actually surpassing it marginally, but then Donald Trump actually doing even better than what he had to do in some of these rural counties in Georgia. Ryan, what are you hearing from the Trump campaign?
I'm hearing that they're still very excited about what they're seeing. They're cautiously optimistic about North Carolina. They feel like there's not enough there for the Harris campaign to make up the ground that they need to make up. They're happy about what's happening in Ohio, that they seem to be up by 10 at this point. And historically, Ohio's been in our party sort of a mental issue where if we're not winning by 10 in Ohio, we're worried about everything else. And that number looks good. There is some, they're nervous about Pennsylvania. There's a lot of vote that's out there. They know that there is a ton of early vote that hasn't even been touched. So there's no arrogance about that, but now all the attention's going to start moving to that blue wall. Virginia being tied is another issue that is getting them excited. They weren't expecting Virginia to be tied. There's 60% of the vote in, I think, about now in Virginia. The fact that that's tied and in the suburbs, Trump did not do that badly around Washington, D.C.
Could be a signal for other states. The Harris campaign not expecting to.
All right. So
Now, Virginia is usually a blue state, right?
Virginia is a purple state. However, the last go around, where they had their midterm election and then the presidential election, they went blue. But it's always going to be, in my mind, a purple state. They do a split ticket. So the governor may end up being Democratic, but the president may go red, or it may be vice versa, right? But I do feel, from what I'm seeing in the counties, Alexandria, Virginia is very, very notorious for the blue vote. They haven't even completely reported yet. And they get out and vote. These are people that work in DC, that travel to go. These are your highly educated, college educated areas. So they sound optimistic as well, but again, it's the red mirage, the blue shift. North Carolina is inching closer and closer and closer. So that will slow that down there as well. And a lot of news outlets are calling things way too fast. So I'm going to go ahead and caution y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
That, because what happens every time this happens, they end up having to go back and say, we have to recall this and put it there. That is why my go-to one is Steve Kornacki on MSNBC. He is always spot on. He counts by counties. And also watching Nate Silver online, watching his poll. He's got his own website. He's pretty much dead on most of the time too. But a lot of these.
So, Kay. So, Kay, I just want to echo what you just said, the sentiments of what you just said in terms of, listen, these commentators are much like you, these content creators, okay? They have to create political propaganda for clicks and views. They can't just call it and then that's it, and then it goes away. They have to create drama with it. Because they create drama, they pull more clicks and views to themselves, they pull more conversation, they become more relevant, etc., so forth and so on. So, yeah, Kay, watch the commentators, watch these people that are saying red, and then they're saying, well, the Harris, they're a little skeptical, or they're not liking so and so and so. This is just the lead up to it's the way that they have to do it to create the drama. That's all this crap is.
Right. And actually, there is still a lot of states out there with a lot of electoral votes that can still be blue and can turn blue. And wasn't it last year too that he won by a certain amount of electoral votes, or was up there, and they kept spinning it like he was going to win the election, and he did it? And
what happens is that all the electoral colleges haven't been casted yet. So at the moment, it looks like he is up, but until every state has been officially called by their state electoral person, then that's when their electoral official, until it's called. So right now it's 81 to 185. It looks like he's winning, but we still have California, who has 40 electoral college votes that's out there. You have, we still got Michigan. We still have all of these other ones that have not been called because the vote is they're still counting, and it's too close to call because it's too many votes of the population. I don't know if you heard me when I was explaining it. So basically, in Atlanta, what's going on right now is they know it's probably about a good 2 million votes that's out there that haven't been turned in, right?
In Atlanta, it's not been called yet, right? Because I just got home. So
In
Atlanta's not been.
Georgia. Right. They
Okay.
haven't been called. The reason why they haven't been called yet, because it's so many votes that have not been registered yet.
Right.
So basically, if it's 400,000 votes that's still out there to be counted, and it's this close, is within the margin of error, they're not going to call it yet until, say, they count the 400,000 and 250 go to her. There's no way for him to catch up.
Mhm.
And that's when they'll
Correct.
call Georgia.
Has
So
Wisconsin been called yet?
no,
Okay,
they have
Jay.
not been called. They have not been
Thank you,
called
boo.
yet. They have not been called yet.
Hey,
And
Okay.
Kate,
y'all, now I
It's
have a
too close to
question for
call.
you
She's
all.
actually up there right now, but they have not. Michigan has not been called either yet. And these are
K-
big numbers.
K-Fit
Big numbers, right?
and whoever, why do they do the popular vote? Because it's pointless, right?
Okay,
So
so
why do they do that?
It's like the head, the
here's the
tier of the way it
history.
goes up the pyramid. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be a representative of a representative of a representative.
No, they
Because
do that.
Well,
No, they do that
that
because
so
He,
what's
here
Donald
important
Trump,
in this,
Donald Trump won the popular vote last election, but it really don't matter, right?
right?
here's the problem. The reason why the electoral college was created was because during slavery time, and we were given the right to vote. More people lived in the northern than the south. And this was the way for
Mm-hmm.
the south to still remain in control, because they knew that if they put a bag of tricks in there called the electoral college, we would have to work twice as hard to win, even though the popular vote has not went to any Republican party in over a decade. It
right,
just is what it is. And because if you look at it, it looks like America is all red and very little blue, but when you start taking that color away and putting dots in
Hey,
there,
Leo.
you'll really see that it's more blue than it is red. The electoral college, it
Uh-huh.
was really pretty much based off of that Jim Crow Bible Belt type of thing. That's what
Mhm.
it was based off of, to give them that leverage, because they're like, well, they have the population over here, so they're always going to win. They didn't like it. So they put in place
right.
the electoral college. That's why we're like, we need to get rid of it, because these states that are the battleground states are not the majority.
Mhm.
These
Right.
states that are the battleground states don't even make up half of the economy. The blue states actually carry the red states in the economy. The blue states are the ones
That's true.
that pay the most taxes
Right.
in the
Yeah.
Taxes.
economy.
Yeah.
Boom. That part.
And that's what it
Yeah.
is.
That's
There you
true. I
go.
didn't know that, but now you're saying that it's very
Yeah,
true.
that's what it
That's
is.
right.
At the end of the day, that's how it is.
And and I'm getting ready to step down, but I'm gonna make a prediction. Number one, when he gets to 200 electoral votes, that's when you're gonna see the blue come through. Okay.
Yes.
They're
Mhm.
waiting. Like y'all, come on. Listen, people ask, why am I in this beef sector, or why are we in it? Whatever. You know why? Because this is the stuff. This is a micro. That those big
Mm-hmm.
dogs that's in DC and DMV, in Georgia and all these other states, in California, New York, etc. This is what they do. This is their life. They're waiting for. They're not gonna call it. They're not gonna and then they suppress it, and then everybody goes to bed. But they want to create this drama. They want people to continue to look at them. They gotta have the clicks and views, so they're not gonna do certain things until a certain point. And that's just it. I'm gonna say 11/11 tonight. We
It'll
will
be
Mhm.
around
know.
that time.
I
You'll see the shift around 11
I
o'clock.
see
You will.
this shift
You will.
exactly, because
PT,
the portal will open. I know mine will, because
PT,
I'm ready. Yes,
before you leave, I just wanted to say you and K Fit, y'all should be on CNN. We got a whole CNN going on over here. I don't know where these people is at, but the whole world needs to be tuned into what's going on over here because we're giving it over here. But
well, listen,
y'all two's doing y'all thing for real.
I would be much obliged, but I will say this: you and Roman and Bobby have asked in this chat, at least y'all folk over here are asking the right
Important
questions.
questions.
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
talking about. Some people are
Absolutely.
asking, did Kamala have a romantic interlude with some? It's like, get the fuck.
Yeah,
What are you
nah,
doing?
that's some bullshit. We
You
ain't,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But these are the questions. We want to really learn how power is and what power does. This is where it is. And once again, kudos to the Y generation, millennials, and the Z generation. Y'all came through today. I'm proud.
Amen to that. Amen
I
to
am
that.
proud. All right, y'all. I'm
All
getting
right.
some
Thank
more
you
to
for
drink,
coming up.
and I can't be on. And y'all
Be
mean,
safe. Take
y'all mean.
care.
Right. Thank you, Bobby. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, Rick. Thank
All
you,
right, we
Kay.
enjoyed
Aggie
you.
Thank
Pride.
you for
Enjoy
See
coming
you,
Aggie
up.
Bobby.
Pride.
Kay
Bye now.
Roman. You good, King. Thank you, boo.
Thank you,
Peace.
of course.
KRN, you've got your 7 minutes out from the next update.
Oh, we are? Okay. All
Yes, you're
right.
7 minutes
Okay,
out.
so before the next update, okay?
Yes.
So this is one thing, you guys, that I've seen also, and it was, she said on Club Shay Shay, this was one of her arguments, that Donald Trump wanted to move the Social Security up to age 70, and she wanted to keep it like where it's at. I guess, I believe you can retire at 62, but you don't get your full benefits till 65. Um, and she said that, because working class people, they work all their life and stuff like that, and they shouldn't have to go all the way to. I feel like 70 is old. I feel like people trying to move the retirement up to 70, they want you to die before they can give you your money. Like, you know what I mean? Before they can give you
Correct.
money. That's how I feel. They want to move it up so you die, so they don't have to give you anything. What do you guys feel about that?
I mean, you're
Or
right.
about Social
So
Security in general?
You're
I'm
right.
scared. I'm scared for all of us,
Right.
80s and 70s and
Yeah.
our age range, because of the fact that we're not going to have Social Security when we get ready to retire if things don't change. The deficit that they have going on right now and what they're putting into it versus what they're not, even like healthcare and insurance. I mean, they're
I,
raising
Bobby,
and huh?
I feel like 65 is old. Like they want us to crawl into work. Like they
There you
want
go.
like,
There you
we
go.
want to be crawling into work. Like
In other countries, that is not the case. I mean, you see things like the way that they're feeding our kids versus the way in other countries they're feeding their kids. You know, things of this nature that you see the small things, and it's all trickling down to that. Is there going to be enough money? Is there going to be, certain stocks? These companies are dropping. These companies are dropping like wildflies since
yeah.
2020. And it's just
Mhm.
ridiculous. The things that we have seen over our years, people that were born in the 80s, we've seen 9/11. We have seen um our first black president, the things that we have seen over this course that has changed history and the way that it's going, it's not looking good if things don't change.
We're like us. We're doomed. Like when we get old, we'll be on the street or something. Like
Well,
messing with people.
the
Start saving in
issue.
yourself, find stocks, find CDs, find
Mm-hmm.
ways to do
I learned like real estate, and that was just like messing around, and I made some money, and I'm like, shit, I made some money. Like,
get
why would
into real estate. That's
I?
what
Mhm.
Thank
that's
you,
what I
Zana.
am. Get into real
I
estate
appreciate
because right
that.
now I'm sorry, Roman, go ahead.
No, I was just telling Zana, thank you. He
Oh,
appreciate all of y'all on the panel.
oh, thanks.
He or she, I'm sorry.
Um, it's okay. The real estate portion of it right now, what Kamala's got going, if you really dig into it, it is really, really important because the housing bubbles and the housing market is really in a gray area right now. And it's very scary for people that are selling and that bought property 2020 and beyond when the interest rates were high,
Yeah.
were lowered and were raised because of the fact that people bought land and everything after 2020 when everything was good, and now it's getting higher and people cannot afford to buy homes and people are sitting with these houses.
Mhm.
Austin, Texas is one of the cities that if you guys ever get a chance to Google it, they have
Mhm.
so much homeless population over the last 3 years.
I
Hey,
And
didn't
they
know
Adnan.
that.
also, huh?
I didn't know that. It's so
Hi.
close to Dallas.
How in the hell
Hey,
are ya?
Jaden. Hey,
Hey,
Jaden.
Hi.
Jaden.
So
What's
Cobb
up?
County,
Hey.
Cobb County is edging on up in there with Kamala. So that lets me know that my vote counted. That's all I wanted to say.
Aw, thank
Wonderful.
Yeah,
you.
that is.
It
That is
matters.
exciting.
It
I love
matters.
Cobb County.
Yes.
That's the best. I feel like that's the best county in the Atlanta area. I'm sorry to whoever else that lives somewhere else. And I lived in other counties, but that's the best county to me in Atlanta area to me.
It
Is
would
it
be
a
good to
Well,
see
suburb?
Georgia be
so
blue.
far she got Trump by like 10%. But again, I think we might have like a 15% more left of the vote. But I thought that was a pretty good thing. For her to be coming through like that. So I
Jada,
just had to come and say that.
you know what's crazy? I
What?
thought about you earlier because I was trying to get a hold of King Roman because I knew he was doing this. I seen him put up a post the other day asking for content creators because he was doing this, and I wanted to do it. And I have his email because he emailed me, but I was searching, I could not find it, and I almost hit you up to ask you if you had his email address, but I was able to get a hold of him.
Oh, well, I'm happy you were able to because I never reveal my sources. But no, I don't have
Yeah,
King
you
Roman's
probably wouldn't
email.
have. I thought of that too. I know.
No, I don't have his email address. I don't. But I probably would have hit him up on Instagram for sure.
Right.
Hey,
You be
Jada.
Jada, we be hooking. No, I was gonna say you be hooking me up, but we be hooking each other up on the low for real for
Of
years.
course.
But you did.
That's
This is
why
this is
that's why
political.
people
This ain't
can't.
B sector. But you do be. I'll reach out to Jada if I need to know something, and she'll reach out to me
Same
if she
thing.
needs to know.
Right. And that's what be making people mad because they want me to be ostracized. No, I ain't ostracized. That's what you think.
Hey John,
Mhm.
hey Jay Dunn. Let me
Uh-huh.
go ahead and say this about the housing bubble real quick. I wanted to finish telling you guys. Okay, so
Oh, okay, my bad.
Austin, no, it's all right. Austin, Texas, right now is one of the most booming tech states. I mean
Mhm.
cities. I'm sorry, cities. I apologize in Texas. Okay, but right now the homeless population and the housing bubble in Austin is crazy. Okay. People bought into homes, investors bought into homes. They're building like crazy and nobody is buying.
Nobody buying them, so they're just sitting.
They cannot afford it, Rick. They
Mm.
cannot afford it because these kids are coming out of college. They're young. They weren't they weren't given stability in how to save and credit and things of that nature and and they're going through all of this through the COVID, through the recession that Trump has built, all of these different things that have occurred. They're going through all of it and cannot afford it. And so what she is trying to do is she is trying to lower the interest rate. She's trying
Mhm.
to give a credit. She's trying to give more down payment. And she's
Yeah.
also trying to tell the banks that they need to ease up with certain grants and certain credits that they're going to get if she becomes president. And it's
That's
big for the housing market.
Bobby, that's what I was saying earlier. Like a lot of people that never owned a house that rented their whole life, if she gives $25,000 down payment
Yes.
assistance to her first time home buyers, that opens up the door for a lot of regular, smuggler, 9 to 5 people to actually become homeowners.
And afford it.
And
That's the
yeah, and be
key.
able to afford it. Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they can get it, yes, they can get it with the down payment, they can get the payment, they can get the home, but can they afford it? Yes,
Right.
with this credit and the way that they're going to handle the interest rate and lowering and giving them also a tax break. That's the important part too, that they're getting a tax break along with the credit to be able to get a home. Then a
Mhm.
college student will be able to buy a home again. The
Mhm.
college students and the younger generation have not really been able
Well,
to buy homes.
listen, because they use their student loans against you. When you go
Correct.
to apply for a loan for a house,
It's included as
student
debt.
loan is a debt. That's a debt.
It's a
That's your
debt.
debt.
That's an
That
income
messes with your
ratio.
debt to income rate. Exactly.
There you
Yep.
go.
Yep.
And it's actually way more simpler than you would think. And it really comes down to things like that. And it's sad because you see that the real estate agents are struggling. The market is struggling. People are struggling because and then what happens too? When people can't buy homes, people have to rent. What do landlords do? They raise the rent. In Texas, you have rent so high right now. And then on top of that, they're trying to abolish being able to do 3 times your income to have to rent a place. And down here in Texas, that's a thing. You have to have 3 times wages to be able to rent a place.
Because of my beef, Bobby, don't get me over here talking this game. Because of my beef sector history, these people think I'm slow, ghetto, and ratchet.
Oh
Okay.
no, you're intelligent.
We like this. We like this break. Okay. We for
That's
this
what
break.
I
I'm over here just trying to get the updates. I'm looking at all of these different videos. Everything
So,
is too close to call.
going on?
Yeah,
And
everything is too
J-Dog, did
close
you
to
get on
call.
vote today?
Things are okay. So things are too close to
What'd you
call.
say, Rick?
I said, did you get out and vote today?
Oh, I already voted last week. I mailed
Me
my shit in
too.
because I don't
Yeah.
trust these white folks.
No, I didn't mail it in. I went in, but I went in last week for early voting.
Yeah, I mailed it in because you know they had like some bomb threats and stuff that happened on two of the polls today
Hmm. Because
in
of all
Georgia.
that happened. What was you saying,
Hmm.
Bobby?
I'm sorry to hear.
No, it was K Fit. It
No,
was K Fit that was talking.
no, hey, Fit. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
going
it
to
was
ask
pretty
you.
good.
Oh,
Can you give
what
us
I was
a
what I
update?
so a lot of things are too close to call, but she's leading in Minnesota, she's leading in Wisconsin, she's leading in Michigan, she's leading in Pennsylvania, she's going to win Washington, she's going to win Oregon, she's going to win California, who has 54 electoral college votes right there. That's over 100 votes. This is the blue shift that I'm
And
talking about.
why you're saying she's going to win is
Pennsylvania
because
and Wisconsin. I'm
it's
so
like she has
excited.
a high lead.
Because
K
she's so heavy, she's so far ahead. And when you look at the history, you go and you compare it to the last presidential election to see where their vote marker was, and she's beating Biden, and he's not making, and when I say he, Trump is not making up any ground in those. So what's happening is she's widening her percentage here. And I believe that North Carolina will go to her, just like I do believe Georgia will end up going to her, because as of right now, Gwinnett County has only reported 16% of their votes.
And I'm telling you guys right now, like if Joe Biden was still in the running, I probably wouldn't have voted again. Like I've never voted before. I probably wouldn't have voted. To be honest, I probably just wouldn't have voted. If it was Joe Biden, I probably wouldn't have voted. I wasn't like enthusiastic about doing
Exactly. I
that.
mean, he played his hand, he did what was right, but most of the battleground states will be hers. As of right now, most of them will be hers. The toss
Yeah,
up is
most of them.
mhm.
It's just a few of them. It's she's out of here.
Right,
I,
because once that blue, okay, so they call it the blue wall, and
yeah,
the blue wall is
is
DC
all
up,
that
and
above
then you
Pennsylvania.
go
I mean,
right,
above Maryland, D.C., Pennsylvania, and
and
then all that above
and
everything above
then
New York, New
Pennsylvania
Jersey.
out to Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, and then you have the blue wall, which is the complete West Coast.
To Maine.
Um,
Okay. What's that called? To Maine, like
But she
like
got to win
Maine
Pennsylvania.
yeah, she's gonna win Pennsylvania. It's not
and
even
If
it's
she
not
wins
even one.
Pennsylvania and Wisconsin,
it's a wrap.
and yeah, I mean them
Well,
electoral. She needs to lose somewhat.
Oh, Miss
well,
Cruiser said, "Do y'all see Pennsylvania?" Miss
She
Cruiser
did.
said, "Do y'all see what's going on in PA?"
she's ahead
Said
by
he's
far.
about to faint. Miss Cruiser wrote in the chat, "Do y'all see Pennsylvania? I'm about to
They
faint."
may
Yeah,
they
she
may have
winning it. I saw
she's
that
went
before I came up here.
they
Oh
may have
my
already they
God.
may have called it for her.
Right
Hold on
now,
one
no, she
second.
said right now they're neck and neck. Pennsylvania with 48% in, they're neck and neck.
I don't know. Speaking to the women on the panel, are you nervous? Are you shaking? Because I'm shaking as a woman. You know, like I cannot stop shaking ever since I voted.
I uh, I mean, I'm nervous because I know that you can't always predict it, but I'm also
Yeah.
confident because I also I've studied this, so I know where a lot of the votes are sitting at. And so it's causing me not to like really overly respond just yet. I'll get nervous
Yeah, Cruiser.
when you start to see certain things not really hit. And y'all got to understand, Philadelphia's votes haven't even been put in yet.
And that's the major. I mean, that's the numbers. On Pennsylvania, like, yeah, Allegheny County, Pittsburgh got numbers, but Philadelphia is a
Philadelphia's
bigger
vote has
city than
not even
Pittsburgh.
hasn't even been put in yet. So
Pittsburgh's a big city, but Philadelphia is a huge
is the
city,
big one.
the
Like,
biggest
and
one.
you have to remember the thing about Philadelphia is those suburban moms that's surrounding
Look,
Philadelphia.
yeah, like Reading, PA,
Yes, that get out
Hmm.
and vote.
yeah,
They get out and vote.
Norristown, PA, all them type of things like that. Yeah, that's
They
their,
they
their
they they get out and vote, but Philadelphia hasn't even come in yet. Like a lot of the major places haven't even came in yet. And it's just because Philadelphia is on pace to actually bust the record
And
for
I think,
their same day voter turnout.
and I think she was
All right,
actually leading
y'all.
like in places like Harrisburg.
Y'all ready to
Right.
see I'm gonna play the update for update on Pennsylvania. They just was talking about it.
What
Before I do that,
can
I
I
want
be
to
one
say,
of the women? Can I be one of the
oh
women
yeah,
that Bobby
yeah,
said?
yeah. No, I
Because
was
I
gonna
was
bring
waiting
Miss
on my
Cruiser
turn.
up. Yeah, I'm gonna bring Miss. I wanted to bring Miss. I was gonna say I want to bring Miss Cruiser up. I'm gonna play this video. So once y'all give y'all to how y'all feel as women voting, especially considering what's on the ballot and what's on the table, tell how y'all feel, and then I'm gonna play this Pennsylvania clip to see what they're talking about, what Cruiser was just talking about. Go ahead,
Okay.
Jay.
Okay, thank you so much, King Ramen. So, for me as a woman, in America, born biologically, with everything intact, this is what I gotta say about it. What's on the ballot, I don't think any of that stuff affects me, but I believe that it affects the other people around me, the people in my family. Like, I don't need an abortion because I don't need one, but if one of my relatives need one, I want them to be able to have it.
Oh, that's
Um,
good. Yeah, I want to know how y'all feel about abortion. That was one of my questions that I was going to bring up too. So
yeah,
Very good
I don't think
question.
I will ever need one in my life,
no,
but
no,
I
but I
know
mean,
that
are
my
you for it or
relatives.
against it? How do you feel about it?
Oh yeah, I'm for it. I done took a couple of my cousins to go
Me
get an
too. I
abortion in
feel
the
like it's
past.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
You're crazy. Oh
I
my
was the
god.
getaway driver.
Oh yeah, but I feel like it's whatever you want to do, whatever you believe in individually, and whatever you want to do. Who am I to say what you can do with your body? Like that's on
Women
you.
should have the right for their body no matter what. It's
If you're
theirs.
religious and you believe it's wrong, don't do it. If you feel like I'm not in financially in the right spot, I made a mistake, I slipped up, but I need to do what I got to do. Do what you got to do. That's your choice. Who am I to tell you what you can do with you?
Can I
But
speak to it from a religious perspective about
yes,
abortion?
yes, ma'am. Hey, Cruiser.
Hey, girl. So some years ago, I was only about 18 and 19. I was at a Pentecostal church, holiness church, and this lady was pregnant, and she found out she was married, pregnant. This was maybe her third child, her and her husband's third child. And she found out during the pregnancy that the baby didn't make it.
Inside of her?
Yes. And she refused to have that pregnancy terminated. She carried it 2 more months because she wouldn't have it terminated. Abortion is more than just, I got pregnant.
Wait,
I'm
Miss Cruz.
ready to have a baby right now.
God
It's
inside of her?
way more than that. So from a spiritual, religious perspective, I think that if we, why would that lady have had to do that? That stayed with me. That happened when I was 18, 19 years old. I'm 54.
So she let it be like whatever God wanted.
Yeah, and I just didn't understand it. I just didn't think that was a good thing to do. I didn't think that was good for her. It was dangerous for her.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same church, another young lady, I can't remember if she was pregnant or not because I came home. I wasn't living in North Carolina. I came home for her homegoing. She was pregnant, and I don't know whether something went wrong, but it makes me wonder if something went wrong. When they put the baby on her, for the skin to skin, her and the baby passed. That's a whole different situation. So those are things that's in my mind when I think about abortion. Again, abortion ain't about you got pregnant, you're not ready to have the baby, you have an abortion. That's not what I think when I hear abortion. It's so much more than that. If something happened if a woman is taken advantage of, does she want to carry the person who assaulted her? She want to carry that baby? I mean, there's all. It's
like
just
you said, Miss Cruz,
it's so many things.
The baby died inside of her. It has to be taken out, or it could kill her. Like you could get sepsis or whatever. So what do you do in that situation?
If it had been me, I would have terminated pregnancy. And again, that was my point. Is that when people think of something one dimension, when they think of something in a box, and that's the only way they're gonna think of it, then you put people at risk. You're putting women at risk making like Mark Robinson here in North Carolina, he lost, thank God, saying, oh, these women, they have an abortion because they couldn't keep their dress down. That's some ignorant thinking.
That is
To think that
ignorant.
that's all that abortion is about. It's so much more than that. It's so much
It
more to go
is, it
with that.
is, it is so much more than that. It gets way deeper. And that's why I said I'm so, you know, emotional at this point because what he is going to do in 2025, if he is elected, is going to be astronomical. And it's not going to be good at all. And the way that it's already going for women, there have been women that have drove to other cities, other states, to get abortions
No, yeah,
because
they
they
used to
can't
do
do
that
it.
in Pennsylvania. No, but they
And
used to do that in Pennsylvania. If they were too far along, they could go to Ohio and they would do it if you were later along. Now, I don't know about all that. They can say if you're like 5 months pregnant, now the baby's fully developed. Pennsylvania won't abort you at that long. You're too far along. So I know girls that went to Ohio because they would do it if you're later term along. Now, I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. If the baby was like is already developed and you're that's touchy. All the abortion stuff is very touchy.
Well, but
But
that's my
but
thing because in Mississippi, abortion was always taboo for as long as I've been alive,
yeah, of course,
and
because
that's the
that's the
reason why.
Bible Belt. That's the Bible Belt.
Correct, and that's the
Mhm.
reason why when I lived in New Orleans, and I lived in New Orleans almost 5 years, and there were at least I'm gonna give y'all the real number. It was 4 of my cousins
Mhm.
that came from Mississippi to New Orleans to get an abortion. And I let them stay up in my house where I was. I let them get themselves together and all that. Because in Mississippi they couldn't do it. But they came across the state line to Louisiana and they was able to do it. So for
Now,
them to
no, I was gonna say this real quick, Jay Dunn. I'm so glad you're sharing this with us because you have people like grown folks who will simply say, "What does gay people know about abortion? Why do we care about it? Why?" You just sat up here and told us.
Mhm.
Not only do you know about it, but you've experienced it with your own
Mm-hmm.
relatives. Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff that's why you're voting. Because not only do you know about it, but it does impact your life. You got family who needed these procedures for whatever reason may be. So why
Rome,
wouldn't you want to
yeah,
go
and
vote
Mississippi
for it?
wouldn't let them do it.
no,
Mississippi
Rome,
wouldn't let them.
and that's why y'all a woman deserves to win. Look, I mean, come on, I can never hate on a woman. I love women, like for real. Like the closest people to me in my life or whatever, always been women. I'm a mama's boy any motherfucker way. That's what y'all don't know. but that's why a woman deserves to win. Look what like all they've been through, all they go through. Like people put them down. They don't have a right to vote. Like look at all the shit gay people went through. Like, but who cares? We're men. We can deal. Not all gay people are men, but the men we can deal with it. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? But look at all the shit that women been through and all the trials and tribulations, all the things they have to go through giving birth, and people been raped and taken advantage of, and they don't make as much money as men because everybody feels like men should be inferior when we're all equal in the mind. Like that don't make no sense. And but many women have helped men. Some men are dumb, like for real. Not all, but some men are dumb. Like I'm a man, so I can't hate on all men. But some men are dumb. They wouldn't be nothing without the lady. So that's why a woman deserves to win, for real. They've
Because
been through a
No,
lot. They've been
I'm
knocked
a,
out, and
yes.
that's why. And listen,
I'm
and that's why we're all sitting on this panel together. That's why women and gay men can relate so well. Like we've been discriminated against and all that kind of shit. We relate
talk
on that
about
type
it.
of shit.
Talk
It ain't
about it.
just because my man wants to be like a woman or whatever. I'm a man. I'm a man's man too, but I'm a mama's boy. I love my motherfucking mama and my sisters. But and I respect them and everything that they ever been through. But we gay men and women relate on that. It's not because we want to be women. Some gay men do. They want to imitate or emulate women. Some do, but not all. But the
Not
connection that
all.
we have is because we've all been discriminated against.
And what do grown folk TV, do he realize that gay men take in foster kids and adopt kids?
Kamala
I
just
mean,
took in.
Yeah.
She just took in New Jersey. Shout out TSW just said Kamala just took in New Jersey. They just called
There we
it.
go.
That's what I'm talking about. Y'all, let me play this about
Any
Pennsylvania because they saying it's changing, and I want
yeah,
to
it
keep
got
us
close.
updated.
That's why I was saying, but had we checked it yet?
And made
Yeah,
clear
it
that was
has
going to be her
changed.
top priority, that lowering the cost of groceries was going to be at the very first thing, her very first priority when she gets into office. She always said
Earlier about Wilkes-Barre, Luzerne County, that has flipped red, at least as of now, with 57% of the vote in. Donald Trump racking up some numbers there in an area where Democrats had some hopes to build things up. You can also see what's starting to happen in the western part of the state. We've got some significant numbers north of Pittsburgh and Butler County. This is a place where Donald Trump is coming close to his benchmark number. Really, this is a function of a lot of vote coming in the redder parts of the state. We still have a lot to go in Philadelphia. That's the kind of this by far the biggest city. We're seeing Delco go very strongly for Kamala Harris. She's outperforming where she would need to be, also outperforming where Joe Biden was. And the same story up through Montgomery. And this is still an interesting one. Bucks County, a lot of folks are keyed into that. A lot of votes still to go. Unclear exactly what kind of vote that is, but at least now Kamala Harris outperforming that benchmark. So it's just a long night to go, but we're getting close to half the votes in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, this would appear to be her strongest state so far as her benchmark performance, at least meeting that 538 average of where these candidates need to be. Donald Trump, in a number of the counties you just showed, slightly below the benchmark, though getting very close to it, which explains why the vote is so close right now. 46% of the vote in, Donald Trump with a very slight lead in Pennsylvania. And you were looking at the Latino vote in Pennsylvania and some of the counties where they live and wondering if this 11th hour push by the Harris campaign to try to reach out to Latinos would actually work.
Yeah, and as Martha was talking about what she saw there in Nevada, I was thinking about what I saw personally here in Pennsylvania. This is Berks County, which includes Reading. Donald Trump has a campaign office here. This is a county that has a large Hispanic and Latino population. Reading is 72% Latino. This is one of those counties where we are going to see this split screen because you have Donald Trump's rhetoric. You have that rally after Madison Square Garden where that speaker compared Puerto Rico to an island of garbage. This is also a county where the economy just matters so much. They're still dealing with high poverty. Let's take a look at where Donald Trump is here. I will tell you he's already meeting his benchmark with 76% of the vote in. You could see where he was just 4 years ago, 53%. He's already there. We're still waiting on a large amount of election day vote as well as early by mail vote as well. And then again, right here, David, he's already performing really well here. While he was campaigning here in Reading, Vice President Kamala Harris was in Allentown. This is Lehigh County. You can see just how well she's doing here. Right now, she's ahead of by 6,000 votes or so, but still a lot of votes to be counted, 43% in right now.
Thanks, Rachel. Rick, one of the things that's very telling is the map with the
She acts like she's excited about it. I don't like that, huh? I'm sorry, y'all. I don't like that.
Did y'all hear that?
Excited about like
Did
she's
y'all
dick
hear
riding
that?
low key. She's dick riding low key for real.
Well,
Peace
I
out,
think
like
she's
that, ho.
excited.
I don't like that, huh?
No, I think she's excited because she knows there's so many more blue votes left. That's what I
Oh
think.
well,
Like
she
it's a
sound like she dick
lot of blue
riding
votes left.
Donald
She's
Trump. I don't
outpacing.
like that, huh?
What is wrong with Latinos? 72% of
I know.
Latinos in this
Yeah.
county, they
Yeah.
still gonna vote for Trump?
And
What
it's the
is wrong with them?
it's the Latino men. It's not the Latino women.
You're
It's
right.
the
You are right
Latino
about that.
men that
That
are
is
voting
some
for him.
fucking crazy.
And remember, a lot of Latinos are hardcore Catholics.
That's
Yeah,
true too.
they
So they're
are.
gonna so they're gonna get caught up with that whole, like I said, they're gonna get stuck on that one dimension of abortion and get stuck on they get stuck on that one thing of being convinced. Once people can put the fear in people about religion, and that's what religion is basically, putting the fear in people, then it's hard to shake them off of it, even when you have called their home an island of garbage. It's
Miss
like, how can they
Cruz,
still in
And he's
Florida
trying
still
to
vote
build a
for him? How can they still
wall.
Miss
vote for him?
Cruz,
Because
Right. And
Miss
he's
Cruz,
trying to
you just
build a
made it make sense.
metal wall across Mexico right now. Like
Miss Cruz, remember what I was asking earlier though, y'all? Miss Cruiser just made it make sense for me because I'm like, why the fuck is Hispanic voters voting Republican? Like, you're a regular worker, you pay regular taxes like everybody else, but she's right. They're highly Catholic and they're highly religious, so they're probably not with the whole abortion thing. So that's probably why. So made sense to me.
So
And that's
y'all,
why I wish that they would have explained that abortion thing so much better than just, letting it go at a woman terminating a pregnancy. Really break that thing down.
so all of the polls have closed in all of these key battleground states: Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, Arizona, Wisconsin, and Nevada. We have about 30 more minutes left till it's 11 o'clock, which it'll be 7 o'clock on the Pacific. I think that's right? 7, or it'll be 8 o'clock. The last poll closes in Nevada, and that's at what, 8 p.m.? Oh, 1 a.m. Alaska closes at 1 a.m. So those will be the last ones, but we already know what Alaska's given, so that shouldn't be anything. But all the polls have closed so in these battleground states: Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, and Georgia. And every single one of them is too close to call, except for, well, they're already saying Nevada is leaning more towards Trump.
So you all, I got another thing for y'all. I got some notes. If y'all haven't noticed, I got some notes over here. Listen, so this is for you all again. So I was watching Jay Wilson before I had came over here and stuff, and he was saying like people are mad or saying that the Hispanics are over here taking jobs, the Mexicans, the people south of the border, the border cross, whatever, the immigrants are coming over here taking jobs like warehouse jobs and all that. And he said, y'all don't want them jobs anyway. They're taking warehouse jobs and all that. Y'all don't want to work them type of jobs anyway. And y'all don't never say how y'all feel about the Indians and the Asians coming over here taking all the tech jobs. And I'm going to add on to that. He said the tech jobs and the office jobs and all that, because there is a lot of Indians coming over here from India taking all the tech jobs and all the, and he said nobody ever says nothing about the Indians and the Asians coming over here taking all the tech jobs. And not only that, there's a lot of doctors. You work in the medical field, King Roman, so I know you see it. My doctor's Indian, and I love her to motherfucking death. She's the bomb.com. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with her. I only want to see her. I don't want to see nobody else. I fuck with her. I've been fucking with her, and I'm gonna keep fucking with her. You know what I'm saying? But nobody says anything about the Indians and the Asians coming over here taking all the good jobs, the ones that people go to school for, the good quality jobs. They're only complaining about the low level jobs that the Hispanics are coming over here taking. What is y'all take on that?
Ladies, y'all first. Y'all got anything y'all want to add?
And Trump called them the black jobs. That was him. That was him targeting the black vote, and it worked. And it actually worked on some people. The two races that are discriminated against, and unfortunately have a little bit of self-hate going on. Obviously, when you see a good number of Hispanics and a good number of blacks voting for this man, hearing what he say, there has to be some self-hate situations going on. And then Trump plays on that. They're taking the black jobs. What are the black jobs? Building, warehouse. And those are good jobs. But, they're not worried about who's coming over here, like you said, practicing medicine, who's coming over here doing the tech jobs, who's coming in, doing, some of the aircraft and those type jobs.
And Jay Wilson said that. You know what I mean? And he's right. And that's what I like what Kamala said. What are black jobs? Like, what does that mean? Because,
I don't think I work a black job.
You said it's a black job, the vice president of the United States. I was like, oh, like, yeah, But like, how do you feel, King Roman? Because you're in the medical field, and I know you see a lot of Indians and Asians, but a lot of Indians.
Yeah, my thing is, first of all, when people are complaining that he's listening to, that Trump is listening to about the immigrants are taking their jobs, he's listening to white rural men in America who like low skill jobs that they don't have to have those bachelor degrees and all. So he ain't talking about them, and they're not complaining about the Asian and Indians who are doctors, because they don't want them jobs. They ain't trying to go get a degree.
King Roman, and
They,
it's partly our fault. It's partly our fault because we are citizens of the United States of America. It don't matter if you're poor or anything. You can get FAFSA, you can get, grants and loans and put yourself through school if you want them doctor jobs or them tech jobs or any motherfucking thing. We ain't taking advantage of our own opportunities that we have to us. Other people are coming over here taking advantage of the shit that we don't take advantage of, to be
oh yeah,
honest.
oh yeah, and I see it all. I see it all the time. Free money out here to do it, all kind of stuff,
You
and
can't
they see
complain
it.
if we ain't doing nothing.
And the part of the sad reality for a lot of races, white, black, there's always going to be a bunch who want to take it easy, who want the easier road, who want the job that's
Even
right down the
myself, I
street.
took the hard
Right,
road.
because I was gonna actually,
I had an opportunity. I took the hard road. I had an opportunity just like every other American, but I took the hard road. That's my own fault, though. Right?
What you gonna say, Bobby?
Go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, that I feel I was gonna kind of take more of the neutral route with it and just be more straightforward in saying when you wake up in the morning and God gives you a chance every day to wake up in the morning to do something different, everyone has that chance. If you woke up, you have a chance. So it's how you apply yourself, what you want to do. Everyone has a job. Everyone,
Cool.
we have garbage men, we have doctors, lawyers, everybody's got a job and a role to play. Who chooses that role is going to be how you wake up in the morning and you apply yourself. So to say a different race for a different job, that's systematics. Everybody
But,
has that chance.
but Bobby, I'm from the North, but lived in the South. I can tell you, like, honestly, I never knew. But when I see the difference. In the South, honestly, you can be whatever you want to be. You can get them jobs. You can get them high positions and stuff like that. But in the North, the white people, they control everything. They're only going to let you get up so far. They're only going to let you get up so high. They're going to keep you below. They control that shit. They run that shit. But in Atlanta, for instance, it's a different story. Or in the South, period. It's a different story. You have a chance as a minority in the South to be big and be great. But in the North, they're going to keep you. You're only going to get so high. You're only going to climb so far up that ladder. They're not letting you up in there, period. It's a difference between the North and the South for sure in the United States of America. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Well, in the North, you never know who you're dealing with. In the South, we know who we're dealing with.
And that's why a lot of people from the North, like Atlanta, don't want a lot of people, but a lot of people come down there because they only gonna let us get so far. That you can be a bank teller, but you might be a bank manager, but you ain't CEO in anything. You're not getting up. You're not running anything. They run that shit, and they keep it between them in the North. Now in the South, you can be the biggest in the South. You can be as big as you want to be in the South. I know, at least in Pennsylvania, and at least in Ohio, and at least in those states, that's true. That's most definitely true. I don't know nobody that's super duper successful from up there. That's why they sell drugs and shit. For real, up north. Even the drug dealing's different. Even in Pennsylvania and all that, a lot of hustlers and they're nickel and dime and making money in the street. But what I think about the people that sell dope in Atlanta, they buy property, they buy houses, they open up businesses and stuff like that. Up north, they're just they keep us below up there. I'm telling you, they do.
I agree because I'm from Wisconsin and I live in Texas. So I was born and raised in Wisconsin, lived there for 33 years.
Talent manager said get certified, licensed, and own your own shit. That's the only way. But if you're working for somebody, there's a totem pole, and they're never gonna let you be at the top. Not in the North.
Here's the thing. In the North, a lot of times in the North, whites are the minority. I mean, the majority, right? In the South, the majority is ethnic people. In Texas, I see a lot of small businesses, a lot of businesses in general that a lot of different races of people own and are entrepreneurs and are building franchises and things of that nature. So I agree with you. The North does have a problem with systematic racism.
They're gonna
More
keep
so
you
than
at
the
a certain
South.
point.
Mhm.
And you ain't coming up in them big seats or nothing like that. They ain't giving that up. And it's going to their grandson, their little 18-year-old grandson to get it before you in the North. But in the South, like, it's different. It's way different. I didn't even know. It's a whole different world.
So
I got opportunities and made more money than I ever made in the South. Like, shit, I didn't even know possible. And them people are still stuck up there where I come from. They don't even know no better. They're just stuck in the neighborhood. Stuck
y'all,
at
let
the
me give y'all
local
a
Go
quick
ahead.
update real quick. So here's the last update at 10:22 p.m. Eastern time. All polls have closed. Harris currently leads Arizona and Michigan. Trump leads Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Remember, this is early, so we don't have the full total. He has also won 2 out of 5 Nebraska electoral votes. So states we're watching: Arizona, Harris leading 48% reporting. Georgia, Trump leading 82% has been reported so far. Michigan, and remember, in Georgia, we're waiting for Atlanta. Michigan, Harris is leading 20% only reporting so far. Nebraska, Trump wins. 2 votes still in play. Nevada is still incoming. North Carolina, Trump leading with 66% having been reported. Pennsylvania, Trump leading with 52% reporting. And Wisconsin, Trump leading with the 47 reporting. And this is a part of what Kay was talking about earlier with the red mirage, and then you get the blue shift as those mail-in, those provisional votes are counted, shifted through. I was just looking at Wisconsin, how they just had to recount all of those votes, and they're quickly doing it so that they can get in on time. So we're waiting on them too. That's part of that 47 only being reported because they're still over there, you know, coming up with all kind of fucking reasons, in my opinion, allegedly.
So
And
only half.
also in a lot of these states, she's eating up ground as they're now reporting in those heavily metropolitan areas. She's within 2 percentage points in North Carolina. She is
Okay.
now within 2.5 points in Georgia.
What?
She's eating it up. Like, and this is what happens that
Yeah.
back in when those heavy populated places, because it takes longer to count those votes. You've got those college areas, Guilford County, Durham, and all those areas. They're not all the way in yet. They're only like 6. Mecklenburg is only like 20 something percent has been reported. Durham County is only, I think, 60 something percent reported. Guilford County is 64% reported. And these are areas where HBCUs are heavy. So you've got to, she's eating ground. It's just gonna take some time. And like Michigan, it's flat out tie right now. It's 49-49, right? But Detroit hadn't even casted, they haven't reported not one vote in there, and that's where it's going to come from.
Oh
The
yeah.
same thing that happened 4 years ago. I literally told all my people, I said it's going to be Detroit, Philadelphia, and Atlanta that is going to usher in those last little bits of votes, because remember, he's not going to get nothing on the West Coast. That is
Yeah.
94 votes right there on the West Coast. He is not even going to get. So what you see right now is not what it's going to be in about another 30 minutes or so. It's not going to be that. It will be the real race here in a minute.
So
Because
if
right
there's
now,
94
go
votes,
ahead.
I'm showing that Harris got 112 now. So if there's 94 votes, that's going to shoot her up over 200.
Right. And
But
then
she's got to take either Pennsylvania or North Carolina, preferably
And
Pennsylvania.
what did you guys say about Virginia again? Because
Virginia is leaning blue. Virginia is now
that's what
light
I seen.
blue.
That's what I just
Yeah.
seen. That's why I wanted to know.
Virginia is light blue right now.
Yeah, I
And
see that.
little do people, Virginia is not what they consider a battleground, but it's one that you want. It's one that
Oh,
you
yeah.
want. Like, it's one that you want for real, for real.
And
But
North Carolina's only halfway through, and also Pennsylvania. They're
In
only like
Guilford County, when the polls closed, people were still in line,
yes.
and
Okay.
And
they
that was
had to keep,
everywhere.
even
They had
though
to
the
keep
polls
letting
are
them vote.
closed, if they were in line,
They had to
If
let them
you're in
they
vote.
had to
line,
let them vote.
they have to
Right.
let you through, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Even
they
when
have
it,
to let them vote. So
They
you're in
have to
people
let
were
them vote.
still. I'm in Guilford County, and they were still in line.
And you have again, Atlanta has not even. It is Gwinnett County that is left over right now.
Yeah,
Gwinnett County has only reported 16%.
it's
So
down.
you have to understand that that's over 400,000 or 500,000 votes that's sitting right there.
Some of these
It's all the
outlets,
battleground.
some of these news outlets are trying to call Georgia for Trump.
They are, and
They're
it's
light.
not wise. It's
It
not
shows
wise
light
at
though.
all.
What I see, it shows like it's still light. It's still light.
Yeah.
It's not called yet. It still says light for all the battleground states for North Carolina, Georgia, PA, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Arizona. They're not
And
in New
before I go, because I gotta lay down for a little bit and get some of my work done. But what you're going to see around 11:15, 11:30, the number is going to be 226 to 218. That's what you're going to see.
Well, if you're up, pop back through.
Well, I'm gonna need to take a nap and calm my nerves because my nerves are tore up.
Kamala is going to have
Me too.
226 and he's going to have
I got me
219.
laughing.
And what's going to happen is that's where the battlegrounds will come into play. How she's got more than one way to get there, right? Like it's a talk. She can get Pennsylvania and then take all the rest of the battleground states. She can get North Carolina and not get Pennsylvania, but get all the other ones. She could take Georgia and get all the. She's got multiple pathways to this, and I want everybody to breathe because there is a lot of votes sitting there
You're
that
right.
are blue. When I tell you it is the bluest of the bluest counties, it is the blue. Go and look. All you gotta do, if you go to Google right now, it'll break it down or state, and then you can go into the counties and you can see where are the votes at. And it's gonna show you Philadelphia has not casted nowhere near what they need to yet. Again, these counties that I'm naming in each state are big for a reason because they have 200, 300, 400,000 votes that are still there that at least over half of them will go to her, and that will give her that will give her that pathway to edge up because we want her. She's almost right where she needs to be in a lot of places. She is. I will say that with a lot of confidence. She is. Now we can't predict everything, right? No, we can't. Anything can happen, but from what I'm seeing right now, she's where Biden was 4 years ago. Y'all remember 4 years ago? Everybody's like, oh my God. She's right where Biden was 4 years ago. She's actually outpacing him in a lot of places.
I had needed a nap 4 years ago too.
That's my point. And I stayed up all night to watch it because this is my thing, right? Like this is it. This is the Super Bowl for me. So I want everybody to take a deep breath. Okay. It ain't over. We're probably not going to find out till sometime, probably around noon tomorrow, to be quite honest.
Lord.
To be quite honest, because you have some states that when it's too close, it automatically triggers a recount. So you got to think about that too.
Rick, I got a real quick question for you before I get off the panel. Concerning, you said this was your first time voting, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So were you shocked to see that there was so much more on that ballot other than government? Well, other than the governor, the president, and senators.
Yeah,
for example, water pollution, weed. In Florida, I got a little tickled that marijuana was on the Florida ballot.
Yeah. Look, but this is what I noticed. There was one person that there wasn't no. I had to vote a Republican. I don't even know who the hell it was. There wasn't nobody else to vote. There was only that person.
It didn't allow you not to vote. Like you couldn't not choose nothing. You don't have to select anyone.
Maybe I just chose them. I didn't know if he was going to submit it through if not. But there wasn't no. They didn't have no competition. I don't know who it was. They didn't have no competition.
Yeah, that was probably was
I did all the judges. I did all the judges like that. If I didn't know who you was, we had about 8 judges. I said,
you didn't vote at all.
Hell,
see, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, you have a lot of local judges, district attorneys that just have one spot and a write-in or something like that. Yeah.
I got my vote. I don't know who it was because there wasn't nobody else. I just voted Democrat straight on through.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, it's things like sales taxes on there. I remember one time on North Carolina, the lottery was on there. They voted for the lottery for years before we finally got the lottery. So a lot of times people don't vote and say, they promising the president ain't gonna do nothing. But when you look at your ballot, you realize there's so much more on there besides the president, senators, the House. You got little things around. We had sales tax. Do you want the sales tax to go up? There's different other things on that ballot. I'm waiting on marijuana to be on the North Carolina ballot, So there's so many more things on that ballot than just who you're going to choose for president. And even the in between, the years that's not presidential, when you're voting for your mayor and stuff like that, those is stuff they put in there that's going to affect you, how they're going to do the roads.
Yeah, like for instance, what you're talking about, like for instance, and I ain't trying to put myself like all the way out there because I be, but there's like something to where they want you to vote because the tax dollars, they want the tax dollars to go to private schools. I believe that tax dollars should stay in public schools. If you want your kid to go to private school, you pay for it. Ain't that what private school, the parents pay for it? So why would I vote for the tax dollars to go into private school? Like if you send your kid to private school, that means you got it already. I feel like all the tax dollars should go into public school.
It's called for-profit education. And that's what when Bessie DeVos, the boys, I think it's her name, was in there. DeVos, that's her brother, is one of the ones who came up with that, i.e. another Trump university. So when she went in there, she took a wrecking ball to the educational system, which is why you see all of these charter schools popping up everywhere, because what they were inadvertently trying to do was trying to defund public education to make people pay for education, and that way the ones who couldn't really afford it were really in the bottom of the barrel schools. Meanwhile, other people that really could afford really good education, they could go to the top tier schools, and also they could then control what was being taught, pretty much what they're doing in Florida and in Georgia. That way they could control the curriculum and the books that are going in there and things like that, and control the population, and pretty much almost an operation segregation type of thing. And that's the way it was going to be.
So are charter schools public schools? Because they get
they are
vouchers.
Some of
they
them
don't get. Do they get tax dollars or do they get donations?
Here's the thing, they are still a part of the public school system.
I thought so.
They throw the charter name on there so that they don't have to abide by everything the public school system has to. And so that's how they're able to get around a lot of the rules and regulations. They're able to get around that and all that red tape, because they're like, oh no, we're just a public charter school, so we're a public private school. And that's how they're able to kind of do what they want to do. And charter schools can be a gift or a curse. It just can. It can either be a really good charter school because it could be STEM, where it's math and science.
But K-Fit, I heard about people like stealing money from. I heard about a lot of crooked, corrupt.
Yeah, there's a lot of mismanagement in charter schools, because the oversight goes away once you put that charter on there. You don't have a lot of the same oversight public schools have. The one thing that they do try to that they make themselves eligible for is some of that Title VI and Title VII funding. That's where they start getting themselves in murky water. Once they receive that funding, then there's some rules that they do have to abide by, and that's when you really see the blend between a public and a private school, and you see some of these charter schools and the Montessoris and stuff like that. They have them out here, because I'm gonna be honest with you, all the rich people, all these wealthy people you think sending their kids to school, they don't got the money too. They looking for a help handout too. So it's loopholes to loopholes.
So, but if charter schools not rich people donate, do they get actually tax dollars?
The school, do you mean like federal funding?
Charter, like, public schools straight off taxes, property taxes. You pay taxes to the school district or where you live at. But do charter schools, I thought, or private schools, are definitely you pay for your kid to go there. I thought charter schools were ran by rich people, instead of paying their taxes, they donate the money to the school to avoid paying taxes or something like that? Is that how that works?
They're still paying, they're still receiving property tax funding, like charter schools and stuff like that, because they're applying for funding from at the state level. So they're when that state level money that comes in from property taxes to go to school. And don't get it twisted, thinking that property taxes in your area is geared to the schools in your area. It's going to one pot and being redistributed across the state. I guarantee you that. That's some of the stuff they're doing, some of the underhanded stuff that's going on. That's why it's so important for us to vote for stuff like, do you want to get rid of the Department of Education? Like, that's the craziest shit to me. Eliminating the Department of Education, one of the largest oversight agencies they have. And they want to turn everything over.
Schools, the kids that go there, they select certain kids, but the kids don't have to have the money to go there. They have the money from whoever donates, or you said they get money also from tax dollars as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. These schools can't run off of straight private funding. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Maybe year one, but year 2 and 3, as you bring in more students, education is expensive. Especially as they get older, it's expensive. It's hella expensive. So they're gonna need some funding from the Fed and state, which will come from the state. By getting the charter, making themselves accredited through the charter route, they eliminate that oversight. The only thing that then they'll do is then apply for funding from the state for specific programs, for after school programs, or tutoring intervention programs, academic intervention programs. They'll apply for funding for that specific thing, and the state will give it because they're looking at the number of students that are being impacted in their state and the growth. Growth achievement level. So they're looking at them as, oh, that's still a student of mine.
This is another thing I heard, King Roman. This is another thing I heard is that some of them kids ain't all that smart, but they keep them at a C level. They pass them no matter what, because if they get in D's or C's or passing exam or failing exams or whatever, they won't get that funding. So even though some of these kids might not be smart, these kids might be special ed or need extra help, but they pass them through anyway because that affects their funding.
They'll lose their authorization from the state board if they
they're not good. They're not performing well.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you guys, before I get ready to go, I wanted to ask one last question, but Roman, oh my God, congratulations on you back on the King Roman News.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Local news and hot
appreciate it.
topics. I watched it and loved it.
Thank you.
And it was nice to see you back there.
I appreciate it.
I missed it, and I missed the Shanquilla update, so I was glad that you spoke on that. And to kind of touch in on some of the stories that you did tell, about a lot of things. The last question I want to ask about is, what do you guys feel about defunding the police?
Defunding? Absolutely not. No.
Really crazy. Yeah, no, hell, we need the police. And I don't even like the police. We need more police. We need them.
What?
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, I agree with that, right? But then the side part of that is, what are they going to do about police brutality, and then also mental health for the way that police handle that?
They need mental health training for sure. I believe. I believe. You don't know what somebody's going through. You get a call and somebody's wilding. You don't know what a person's going through. You don't know if it's drugs, drunk, or whatever, or you don't know if this person's really having I think police need more mental health training. I do believe that.
And they need to do it more often than just when there's a shooting incident. Because most police are not mentally evaluated. They are when they first come in, right? But then they're not again unless something happened, like there's a shooting, and they, then they, before they return to the job or come off desk duty, they have to go through mental evaluation. But I think there should be mandatory mental evaluations annually or something like that.
Because Ms. Cruiser, at the end of the day, we are all human beings. And we all go through things in life, and mentally, period. Everybody, ain't nobody perfect. I don't care how you pretend to be. And it be things like, you don't know what police are humans. You don't know what they go through in their personal life. They could have they could be going through a divorce. The wife could be cheating on them. They could be just having a bad day and taking things out on people that, so exactly. You don't know when they come in, they have a mental health evaluation, but you don't know what they go through in their life. That should be periodically something that's done. I agree with you.
Well,
And
I
I
do
think
think
that they should be taken off of, I don't know what the duty called, street duty or whatever. I think every now and then to go through sensitivity training for some months.
that's one of the biggest things that I agree on is the fact of the matter that they're going to have to go through some type of therapy training, something to learn how, to desensitize away from emotions and be able to bring themselves to a point where there's a neutral ground when they're handling situations. Well, no matter, domestic violence, in some of these situations where they're going into mass shootings, all of these other things, because when one of the mass shootings that happened down here in Texas with the school,
Yeah.
how many police officers they said that they didn't even go in the building, Cruiser.
They dropped the ball on that, didn't they?
Yes,
They
yes, they
fucking dropped
did.
the ball on that.
It was
They were
sad. It was
scared. They were
sad to
scared to
hear.
go in. They had to wait till the border patrol came and they ran up in the school and got to do. The police was scared to go up in there. That's crazy. Kids got killed because they were scared to run up in there. That's what you're trained to do. That's what you got to go up in there and handle your business. That's what
Right.
They'll do it any other time. Any other
Yeah,
time, they'll be up in there.
Thank y'all. Thank you for letting me up, Roman. It was good to see you, Bobby. Good to talk to you, Rick, and
Nice to meet
David and
you.
everybody. Good discussion. I'm gonna
Yeah,
calm
thank you.
myself down. Y'all have a good
Yeah,
night.
Thank you. I
because
want to say
I'm
thank
still
you to everybody
nervous.
that hit the link. Thank you to TC. Thank you to K Fit. Thank you to Cruiser, Gov, Bobby. Thank y'all for coming up too and watching this with me and talking and asking good questions and having a vibe, because this is intense. And like I've been telling you, I've been a little on edge all day. I don't know if it's because of this or it's just because it's a Tuesday.
Listen,
I don't know.
King Roman, what I want to say to you is, first of all, I owed you one. Ben owed you one. And I wanted to come kick it with you anyway. I knew you was doing this. And so I wanted to come with you, hang out with you, and do this with you. Also, I was thinking I was remembering when I started watching you and watching your page, and you've definitely been around here since 2020, because I was working in Smyrna, Georgia, and I told you I used to listen to you every morning. You would go live like every morning at 7:00 on the dot and I would be driving to work. So I didn't participate in the chat because I would have you playing in the car while I was driving through all that crazy ass Atlanta traffic. But I would listen to you every morning on this page doing your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You be doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? You be roasting, gagging, and dragging. You'll drag a bitch. It ain't nothing to cuss a bitch out. Like, it ain't nothing to cuss a bitch out. But what I want you, but what I really love that you still stick to your roots and stuff like that, because I made myself so crazy that maybe I could build up a channel and do regular commentary, have his news and do the shit like what you do. But I have such a bad reputation. Like, the beef sector ain't always good. Yes, money. Yeah, people come see me. Yeah, I roast, gag, or drag and stuff like that. But I always admired that you had this type of channel, because I'm a smart. I know a lot of shit. I can come through and talk. I got game and shit like that. But in the beef sector, they don't respect shit like that. You built your channel though before all this bullshit off of real shit. You know what I'm saying? That's lovely. You know what I mean? You're a real content creator out here. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I come up on here and drag bitches. I'm in the beef sector. That's what I do. I'm entertaining. I put on and shit. But I ain't no real content creator giving no real content or commentary. I ain't never been. These bitches in the beef sector be faking and acting like they're real content, and they ain't. As soon as the story break, these bitches want to break their neck out here and want to talk about Young Thug. That ain't what y'all give. Y'all don't give Young Thug. Y'all don't give P. Diddy or none of that. Y'all ain't never did none of that. When shit's hot, y'all want to break y'all neck and act like y'all real content creators. Just be who you are. Like, you are ain't shit bitch that comes up on here and talk shit on people on these local ass. We're local hoes, and we talk shit on local ass hoes. And what, none of us bitches get no fucking clicks and views if we didn't mention each other, us local ass hoes. But you can't. I know you from giving real content and commentary, so don't never stray away from that. That's what I like about you. That's what I watched you for. you and then there's a few other people that was my escape from the B sector. I'm sick of arguing with these bitches and cussing these bitches out every fucking day. I want to come and just be peaceful and talk about some real shit or listen to some real shit. So I come to you for that. So don't never stray away from it. Don't get caught up in the shit with bitches because they ain't, you know what I mean? It ain't perfect, none of that. You get money anyway. You don't need it for that.
I really, you know what, and I appreciate you saying that because I realized when I did my show on yesterday, I realized the difference, how I felt when I ended that show. It was something different. It was like, oh, okay, I remember this feeling. It was a different feeling. It really was.
700 people want to come see you to be messy and all that, but they don't. Your numbers went up from you doing your regular shit. When you did your regular shit before, it's like, that's what they want. You know what I'm saying? They don't want no real shit. You know what I'm saying? But don't ever stray away from that. Some of your biggest videos I have seen. I've been watching you for a long time. You have way more numbers. Them videos got way more numbers than any video you ever did in the beef sector.
Yeah, well, you remember.
For real. Like, for real. You be really doing it like so. You know what I mean? Don't stray away from that or get caught up in those numbers and shit the fuck up around here because it keeps you small, just like me. And I seen you could do better and greater shit than that, for real.
I appreciate it. I really do, especially coming from you. I appreciate that. I'm
a subscriber.
In my group.
I'm a subscriber. I got caught up in this little bullshit, but I'm a subscriber first. I watch content and commentary every day, all day, and it ain't B sector. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you. You know what I mean? Keep doing, do your thing in the B. You know, you somebody around here, you somebody in the B sector, but don't stray away from your real shit because that's really what brought me here and caught my attention was your real shit. It ain't what you do, cussing bitches out. Anybody can get cussed out, but you actually are talented and shit. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree, and I come from King Roman News. That's where I come from.
Me too, for real.
Yeah, and I've always loved Roman doing the news. For real, for real.
Love it. I was like, I be coming for that, and then you stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I be coming because I don't watch I can watch ratchet shit all day. Like, I be coming for the real shit. I watch real shit all the time. Outside of this, I'm a fan. I be catching like people like I know y'all beefing and shit. I be catching I be over Mama Duck's chat. I be other places, but the B sector don't see me in other places because they only be here. But I be all over the place. I be in academics chat. I be all over the place. I be all over the YouTube. I always was like that even before I started even making content in the B sector. But I watch you for you give great content and commentary. You take your time. You do your research. You be bringing it up on here just like you bring the poll. We could have sat here and talked, but you brought us the updates up on the screen so we could see what's going on. Everybody don't be doing that. They can't really content create for real. They just be running their motherfucking mouth. They don't be doing nothing. And I know I ain't shit. Like you see my page, I don't do nothing. It ain't decorated or nothing. You don't see no background, nothing pretty or nothing fancy. This is my regular old YouTube channel that I watch videos on. I've never decorated it or did anything to it. I just come up on here and cuss people. You don't got to decorate nothing if you just coming up on here to cuss bitches out. You don't got to do nothing fancy. Just come up on here, cuss a bitch out. That's it. But I'm a regular person, but you're really a content creator. Don't let these bitches take you away from that.
It's funny you say don't let these bitches.
Amen. Amen.
No, that's
but I'm gonna drop down, Rick. It was a pleasure.
Me too. You're about to get up out of here too, ain't you, King Roman?
Yeah, I'm about to get the last couple of results. And then
so that was my last and final word. I fuck with you. We ain't beef for what? Beef for what? Cause each other out of what? No, I watch you for real content and commentary. Fuck what these bitches got going on. Like, period.
We gotta still talk about this man though too, Rick. Like,
you call me about that, and I'll come through and do it if I'm available. Like, you know what I mean? I'll be working, I'll be busy, I'll be off. But I knew you was doing this today, and I knew I was free today. And so I wanted to come through and kick
And
it
I
with you.
appreciate it because I was trying to get some
Oh,
CCs
you know, for
and
years,
you
like
hit
I
me.
post this shit late. You know, because these bitches be trying to get up with me and shit. They can't get my email address and nothing. And then when I was looking for yours, I can't find it, even though you emailed me. I looked on your pages in your about section. You don't got it posted. That's
I had to
smart.
move it.
You'll get all these random ass beef sector hoes wanting to talk to you about nothing.
Yeah, that's how TMO found me. I had to remove that. Took that down. Down.
But Roman,
You
you know
see
I
how I did,
appreciate you. You know I
Roman?
appreciate you, and I wanted to tell you thanks for having me up. You know I'm
Thank you,
supporting you
Bobby.
always
Thank you
in the
for coming
clouds.
through.
I
I
always
appreciate
will.
it.
And you guys be safe and come on, Harris.
Come
All
on.
right, Bobby.
Take
Bobby
care.
be coming for you and King Roman. You got some good ass supporters and shit too. People that fuck with you for real.
It's
You,
crazy.
Roman
It's
knows I
just
love him.
crazy. It's crazy. And I appreciate every single one of
Bobby,
them,
I know you.
everybody.
I know you from him. I know K Fit from him. Like I don't know them from
Mhm.
nowhere else but from him.
Y'all
Yeah,
take
and
care
I
now.
appreciate
Have a
them.
good
All
night.
right. Thank you, Bobby.
All right, bye.
But yeah, Roman, I just wanted to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? And and there might be a bitch. I think there's some old bitch, some old ugly ass bitch. Like I think you like her. You be fucking with her for. If that bitch got something to say though, I'ma line that hoe on here. So just be ready for that. I don't know. Get love. I don't like the that she ain't nobody around here. So I might have to clothesline that bitch for, but you know.
All right, I'm hoping we wake up tomorrow and it's we talking President, Madam President Harris. That's what I'm
Me
hoping.
too.
Man.
Me too.
I'm really hoping. I hope so. I
Me too.
appreciate
But
you coming
I'll
through. I
holler at
really
you, bro.
fucking
Though.
do.
You know what I
All
mean?
right,
Anything you need, just hit me up. You know what I'm saying? If I
thank
could
you,
do it.
thank
All
you,
right.
Rick.
All
All
right,
right,
peace.
yo, y'all, we have literally been here 5 more minutes. It'll be 3 hours. Counting this down. Um, California has been taken by Harris, as y'all can see on this map right here. It's up. It's updated. It's a live update. Um, my nerves is I think I'm a little bit cool right now. My girl came up here, K Fit came up here, kind of cooled us all down a little bit. I feel like I feel like it's good. I want to leave y'all on a positive note. Like the fact that y'all engaged in the diplomatic process, that y'all voted, you're here, you engage, you want to know, that's a great thing. Be proud of that. No matter what happens, you was a part of it. You did your part. That's all we can ask for. I feel like my mic is staticky. That's all we can ask for. I am about to go lay down and finish watching the rest of this. I put ground beef, Italian sauce, sweet Italian sausage in the Instapot, browned it, put it on stew, add my tomato sauce, my onion, my peppers, my seasoning, my everything. And it's just been in there, and I'm just so excited to go eat this. I never made spaghetti in the Instant Pot, but my friend was like, yeah, just do it. It's cleaner. You ain't got to wash this. You ain't got to do none of that. So I'm doing that. So I'm so excited to go up there and eat it. But listen, shout out to everybody that came up here. Listen, y'all support is amazing. Like everybody that hit the link, from y'all in the chat, I appreciate it. I'm glad we got to watch. This is another moment for us. We got to watch this together. So thank y'all for being here. Thank you, Talent, for joining in the commentary, knowing you could have hit the link. Miss Fendi, 313, thank you. Just Lovely, good night, boo. Angela White, excellent commentary. Thank you. I really enjoyed this. Thank you, Talent. Silent, thanks for the coverage. Mr. Meter Joe, I'm here. And the channel is back. A friend told me the same thing. Thanks again. I appreciate it, Silent. I decompress too. Yo, Kay hit me like, let me come up here real quick. Came up here and did it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much, y'all. So listen, I'm about to go. I'm about to end my live. I'm about to go and finish watching the elections. Lord, please do right by us. Please do right by us. Please do right by us. Please, I'm not that talent. Oh, you talent manager. Okay, I see the difference. Damn, I need to remember that when I be in the chats. Thinking y'all the same thing. Diesel. Oh, what up, Diesel, I ain't seen you in a minute. No problem. Kyle's praying that the nation will do the right thing tonight. Can at least get a heart back. Of course, just lovely. Hey, boo. Enjoyed the live. Thank you, Wear Me. Y'all. Well, let me see what anything new happened yet. Because we at 11 o'clock. It should be some shit being called in at this point. What are we doing? What are we doing? New York, we already know. So it is a little new. It done changed. Now it's 2:26. All right, y'all. Let's see what the shit looking like. Oh shit. Yeah. Even my computer saying nigga. Log that ass off. Miss Fendi, you feel better too? Me too. All right, here y'all go. The road to 270. Democrats need 44. Republicans need 40. Baby. These are the projected leans. My God, man. I'm over the elections. I can't believe it's taking Wisconsin this long. All right, y'all. Let me get up out of here. Until tomorrow. I'm gonna come live. You know I'm coming live. Y'all know I'm coming live in the morning. Either way, baby, I'm gonna be live so we can talk about it together. If he wins PA, listen, Jay, don't get it started. We gotta embody the spirit of K-Fit right now. Chill out, take my nap. I've been sipping my wine. You know, I put my good juju out there. I got my when I was in where was that? Vegas, I bought all of those little things, dream catchers. I put all my dream catchers in my bedroom, so I pulled them all out. I got like 3. I got one big one. I got 2 out. That one and 2 other ones, I got them all out. I'm putting good jujus out tonight. Tonight I'm on all of that. All right, crew. I will see y'all when I see y'all. And I appreciate y'all for coming by. Make sure you hit that like button. And shout out to the panelists. Shout out to each one of y'all for coming through. I appreciate the support. Deuces. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Let's go, let's go. Ow, let's start this show. King Roman News gonna come right through. Gonna give you that news just like you know he can do. Hot topics in your face, baby. King Roman knows his place, baby. King Roman News.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
6:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. He's gonna come right on time with the news just for you. Celebrity news, politics. politics and local news just for you. King Roman News. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Let's go, let's go. Hey, let's start this show. King Roman News, coming just for you. King Roman News, coming just for you. 6:30 a.m.